Okay, we got some people coming to the stream now. How you doing, guys? Just enjoying a coffee here on a Sunday afternoon in Bangkok. No comments yet. Just say a quick hi to Peter Wilson. First one in. I don't know if you're there, Peter. It takes a while for the numbers to build up when you do these kind of ad hoc streams. It's Sunday afternoon. It's 2:30 in the afternoon here. I just took a quick look on YouTube. Nobody's doing any streams at the moment. Trevor's finished. I think NDTV come on later, and there's another guy comes on a bit later on. So it's blank at the moment. So I thought I'd just come on and do a little bit. So 30 people in now. That's good. So let me start saying hello to everyone. Another slurp on this. I hope the picture's okay because I don't have any green screen or any special lights or anything. It was very dark, so I've had to turn the brightness right up, but I don't know how that's coming out your end, and hopefully you can hear me as well. Okay, right, numbers building now. So, okay, as always, Chris, how you doing? Good to have you in, Chris. So, Chris keeping an eye on everyone there, now a moderator. Fitzy, back there in Australia, how you doing? I'm surprised quite a few people coming in. Stephen, how are you? Good afternoon from Nakhon's. Let me try and pronounce it right. Nakhon Saitamarat. I hope I got that right. Yeah. Good, Steve. I'm doing very well. Isn't it getting hot in Thailand now? Guys, if you're coming out here, it's really hot. You know, it's a lot hotter than it was last year. And they're predicting a heat wave of 45 degrees. 45, that's hot. You know, I've got the air conditioning on at the moment. I normally have a fan. You can see the fan in the background. So I'll sit here without a shirt and have the fan on, but you don't want to be seeing me without a shirt on. It's not a pretty sight. Okay, David Woodland. Morning, Peter. Good afternoon. How you doing, David? Oh, excuse me. Archie Westmoreland. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Afternoon, Peter. Archie in Pattaya here. Oh, you're in Pattaya. Good stuff. Do you live there, Archie, or are you just visiting for a while? Franco's still down there. I've just spoke to him. He's he's in the sea now. He's probably like laying in a deck chair like a washed up sperm whale, you know. But he's last day tomorrow. He's gone back on. I think it's Wednesday. So Tuesday. He's gone back on Tuesday. Anders, how you doing? Good to see you in. And the best name on the internet, Biggest Dickers. How are you doing? Good time for a stream. Yeah, it depends where you are in the world, doesn't it? I suppose. So 50 in already. That's good. Stuart Marston, morning, Pete. Great to Stacey. How you doing, Stuart? Barry Lim, how you doing? Hi, Peter. Hope you're well now. Yeah, I had a cold. You know, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago I had a cold, and it's kind of gone, but it's still. It really hammered me. You know, I was like, let me just because I've still got an itchy nose. Let me just get. I've got a piece of tissue there. I don't want to go on about a cold, but it was. It knocked me out for about a week. You know, I couldn't stop sleeping. You know, I'd go to bed, have 10 hours of sleep, get up, have a bowl of cornflakes and a coffee, and I'd lay on the sofa and I'd be out for another 3 hours. And this went on for about a week. Thankfully, I'm okay now. I don't get tired, but I still have this constant runny nose. And I don't think I got a cold anymore. I honestly think it's something to do with the pollution because it's like some days it's as high as 175 here, really into the red, you know, and you can't lock yourself up in an apartment. You've got to go out. And I like walking in the park for an hour every day, bit of exercise, you know, but I'm sure I've still got the remnants of it. But thanks for asking, Barry. All right, Fitzy, thank you. Picture and sound is good. Always looks strange without, you know, I normally have this nice Pattaya, Bangkok background, but there's nothing today. Probably do about an hour today. We'll see how it goes. Toby Price, red hot and Chonburi now, having a nice big Leo to cool down. Yeah, that's good, Toby. I've never actually drank in the daytime. I've always been afraid of becoming an alcoholic, you know. So as much as I've now and again, I've like, you know, you're outside, it's hot, it's nice. But I suppose if you just have one in the day or two in the day and you don't have it at night time, I suppose it's not too bad. Mac Million Nurse One, hello from Saudi Arabia, watching from the desert. Okay, that's probably what temperature is it where you are? Okay, I'll just put you up there so you know who I'll probably pronounce your name wrong. So right now in Thailand, I mean, I haven't been out yet. I'm guessing it's around probably 36 to 38, not as you know, maybe even less. But I'd love to know what temperature it is where you are. Paddy, hello from Norway. Hello, Paddy. Had a great time in Norway. I was up in Buda. Bodo in the land of the Midnatsel. I pronounced it wrong. Midnatsel, midnight sun. You know, great. Used to go fishing for say at 6 o'clock in the morning. Fish this big, brilliant. A bit hard to sleep at night though when there's no darkness. Arif Chodhuri, is it? Hello from Northbury, picture is fine, great. I'm surprised how many people are actually in Thailand watching, because when you do the streams, you imagine there's people in the States, Australia, the UK, Europe, wherever, and you imagine, they're back at work and they want to get they want to carry on their Thailand adventure and they join in live streams and all this sort of thing. But it's surprising how many people kind of log on from within Thailand. But I guess if you live here, it's all part of a community, aren't we? David Woodland, video and audio is good. That's good. Good to know. Stuart Marston, morning, Peter. Great to catch you live. Ethanol Dreams, morning from South London. How? I was going to ask how's the weather, right? Typical English question. How's the weather? You've answered me before I've even asked. It's freezing. I actually miss the. It's nice being in a hot country, but it's always hot. It's always hot, and sometimes. I remember in the UK going out in the morning with my dog especially around October, November, where you had those very, very blue skies and the air was really fresh. And when you walk, your feet crunched, you go through some woods. I miss that. It's kind of a real nice, fresh, we had good air quality where I lived. Here, the air quality is naff, but that's one of the things I miss about the UK. Kennel, I'm here, Future Park. Okay. Son Hoya, how do you pronounce the last one? Son, I'll just call you Son. Just recently found your channel. Enjoy your stories. Soothing storytelling voice. I listen before bedtime. Well, thank you. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, as long as I don't send you to sleep. It's unbelievable the amount of people. So I'm starting to get new stories in now, and sometimes you might hear them on another channel because there's several story channels have popped up recently. I'm nearly 4.5 years now, but I still get new stories. But I'm always surprised at the amount of people who write in and say, "Oh no, you made that story up. It's not real. That couldn't have happened." It's unbelievable. Jerry time. Good afternoon. How you doing, Jerry? Archie Westmoreland. Long visit, Peter. Okay. How long are you here for, Archie? If you're here, if that's what you meant. I'll just say a hi to Martin Ryder. I don't know if he's here, if he's watching the stream. I met up with him yesterday. He's a viewer. I'm meeting a lot of viewers at the moment. People come in. Hey, I'm in town. How about a meet up? And I don't really do late nights anymore. I get tired. I don't really do go-go bars and stuff like that. But what I'll often do is meet people for a coffee or a lunch or something like that. And I normally stay with them like 1 or 2 hours, and I find out everything about them, what they do, and I tell them a bit more about myself. And I had a couple of cups of coffee with Martin yesterday. We went over to Soye, sat down at Monsoon there, which is quite nice inside, a bit pricey, but it's a nice atmosphere. So if you do watch this, Martin, or if you watch it on catch up, good to meet up with you. And maybe next time you come in, we can meet again, because I know you're going off to Vietnam, aren't you? Or you just came from Vietnam. I was asking Martin about some questions about being ripped off in Vietnam, because if you remember when Andrew Hammond went to Vietnam, he said, "Oh, I got scammed. Everybody scammed me." And then other people wrote in and said, no, that's not true. I've been to Vietnam. It's a great place to go. And then I actually asked him yesterday, I said, "What's it like, Martin?" He said, "You do have to watch it." He said, "They do try and scam you every opportunity they get. That's normal." Anthony Padgett, afternoon from Goa. Hot here as well. I've been to Goa. I was there before the tourist. It's very nice. I remember we rented, this is me and my wife years ago. We did a week in Goa on holiday. I was working in, it's Mumbai now, it was Bombay. I was working in a hotel in Bombay, and at the end of the contract, this was before my time with the Corps, the manager of the hotel, they have several hotels. They're called the Taj Indian. Is it the Indian Taj? Something I can't remember. But they sent us to one of their sister hotels in Goa, and that was before tourists. You could go on the beach at Goa, and there was nobody. There was no people selling junk. There was no tourists, nothing. And I remember renting a 500cc Bullet motorbike. 500cc, but it was pretty slow. And we went all the way up to this old Spanish fort overlooking the bay. It was a fort stored for storing munitions. That was quite interesting. And then we went out on a boat, and there's a prison in Goa, and it's really weird. We're on the boat, a little boat that we'd hired. You go past this prison, and they're all at the bars waving to you. I don't know if they're waving to my wife or me, but just a really weird situation there. But a good time in Goa, in India. And Nomad Overseas. Morning, Peter. Was up early this morning and saw the notification about the stream. Not seen you live for ages. Oh, okay. Nomad Overseas. Yeah, I haven't seen you in either. It's just I do this now and again. I don't do it every Sunday. I cut back the streams from every week to every other week. I just felt they're getting a bit boring, a bit, for everybody because it's the same sort of thing. And I thought, right, I'll do one every other week. But every now and again, I like to do a Sunday afternoon here in Bangkok like this, which is very casual, very laid back. I don't advertise it. And if I want to go for 10 minutes, I can go for 10 minutes. If I want to go for 2 hours, I can go for 2 hours. And I kind of like these streams, these ad hoc streams. They're much more relaxing. Stuart Marston, predicting 45 degrees. Wowza, too hot, I think, for me, but I prefer that than the frost on my car this morning in Northampton. Yeah. It's pretty brutal out there in the heat, you know, and what with this is a time of year where they burn the stubble, you know, the beet, the sugar beet. Not only, it's mainly in northern Thailand, but it's also other countries like Indonesia. They set the fields on fire, and the smoke is it's appalling, actually. And actually, who was it? The Prime Minister or somebody here in Thailand told all the local governors to clamp down on this fire burning because it's bloody awful, you know. I've released a video out to members. I'll be releasing it out to everybody else on Tuesday. I was with Jason, the guy I did a couple of food videos with. We went up to the 78th floor, the highest point in Bangkok of the King Power. I forget what it's called. I've got had a receipt here. The King Power building, you know, the one that looks like Legoland. It's amazing building. And we went up, and they've got a glass floor. And we went up to 78 floors, and that, you know, I've been on the 29th floor of the Hyatt, you know, just on Sukhumvit, which is high. When you look at it, you think, wow, this is high. But can you imagine 78 floors, and you walk out on this glass, and you know, before you go there, you know the glass is not going to break because it's obviously reinforced. It's probably about 3 inches thick, but it's really hard, kind of convincing your brain that it's safe to do it, if that makes sense. And Jason's done it before, so he went out on the glass. And I didn't want to do it. And I thought, Jason says, you've got to do it, Peter. You're making the video. And I thought, you're right. And they give you these things to go over your shoes. And I thought, right, from my experience with flying, if you look out, it's not bad. You're okay. But when you look vertical down, that's what's terrifying. And remember, 78 floors, that is damn high, right? So you walk out in the middle of this glass and you're talking or looking out, and you suddenly look down. You see how fast I jump off that glass. I was on there for about 2 seconds, but great experience. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because you get a really great panoramic view of the whole city, and you could see the smog. Actually, you could smell the smog in the air. You know, it's kind of like a petrol-y smell. And, you know, it's just not nice. You know, the pollution's not nice, and everyone's aware of it, and everybody's trying to do something about it. But until they kind of knock these fires on the head, and I don't know how they can force people not to have the fires. They can in Thailand, but they can't go to Indonesia and say stop burning, right? It's only this time of the year. Once the rainy season's here, then we'll have great air again, but then we've got the rain to deal with. And then we've got Songkran coming up, third week of April, I think it is. And that's normally for about 8 days. And they're talking about extending that to 3 weeks, you know. Okay, Chris, you said your girlfriend's suffering from the heat in Isan. Even the Thais are feeling it, yeah. I've been tempted. I don't want to look like a wuss when I'm out, but I've been tempted to do what the Thais do, and that's get an umbrella and walk outside with an umbrella because it's just so hot. You know, it burns the back of your neck. You know, I mean, I go out on my scooter and you don't feel it because the wind's coming over you, so it's warm air and it feels kind of fairly comfortable. But you'll get home and your skin on the back of your neck is because it's tender there, isn't it? It isn't tender here. Just got to be careful when you come out here. Tube 9230 Los Angeles, how you doing? Okay, that name that I can never pronounce. Hi Peter, checking in from it's every week undisclosed location, Madagascar, where I sort out the mullahs and serve the Lord preaching gospel. I always read it out. I don't know why. It's the same message week after week after week. Ken Christopherson, how you doing? Good seeing you. Hi Peter, good morning from a very cold Denmark. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I talked about at the beginning. I've still got a little bit of a snivel, but generally speaking, I'm not tired all the time like I was. And I'm coming to you today live in my totally fake Boss shirt that I bought in MBK Center for 250 baht. How's that? Not bad. And it actually fits. Right. Okay, you've come back to me on that. Saudi Arabia weather today, 28 degrees, just coming out from our winter. Okay, so 28 degrees is still hot, but it's not hot like hot here. I think in the Middle East, you don't have the humidity like we have here, do you? The humidity in Thailand is about 86%, 88%, very humid. Texas Dave, how you doing? Greetings from Korea. Yeah, I wonder what the weather's like in Korea because they have a winter, don't they? Thailand Johns, hi Pete, greetings from Bedford, just in from the prison after another. I'm smiling because I remember you telling us your story last week or the week before. I'm just in from the prison after another long night shift. It's freezing. You're a braver man than me. I don't think it's a job I could do. Right, Tube 9230, Peter. Peter, you're in the hotel business. Why do they require you to sign up to use the gym? We never did. We never required. Let me think now. I'm going back a lot of years. Why do they require? I think what it is, if they don't know if you're going to use the, I'm just going on. I'm just guessing actually from experience, but I think what it is, when obviously in the bigger hotels, the 5-star hotels, they have hundreds of guests staying there, and everybody who checks in, they don't know who's going to use the gym and who's not going to use the gym. And if they ask them, some might say, yeah, I'm going to use it, and they never use it, and vice versa. So I think the reason they get you to sign up for the gym is so that when you go to the gym, they can actually check that you are a resident or a paying member. There's some system in place, but I can't remember us ever doing that. Yeah, Peter, how you doing? You were first in the stream today, so I did say hi to you at the beginning, but I'll put you up there, give you a little wave. Scott Beard, is it? I wonder if Franco's in yet. Franco, are you there? Let me go right down, see if he's in. I'm not too far behind in the comments by the looks of it. Right, he's not there yet. He's probably still in the sea. I spoke to Franco on the phone. He was just going into the sea down there on Pattaya Beach. I wouldn't go in the water there, filthy. Scott, in all honesty, are most Thai women like the norm, at least the ones with foreigners? In all honesty, are most Thailand women like the norm? I'm not really sure what your question means, Scott. What do you mean like the norm? Do you mean are they like bar girls, or are they decent? Or reword it so I understand it, and I'll come to it again. I'll answer you. Toby Price, I've not seen another Farang for about 3 months. That's why streams are good. I need to make sure I still understand English. Okay, so you're in Thailand. You're probably out the way somewhere. Bernie, how you doing? Your Hock live streams are always welcome. I'm thinking of visiting end of May to attend Thai Fex and have a few Al Hussein luncheons. Do you know what, Bernie? I was introduced to a really small, tiny little Indian place off Asok. It's down a little side road. It's so cheap. I think I paid 250 baht for a full meal, and it's delicious. And I thought, I'll do a video about this place. And I thought, no, it'll get mobbed. I won't be able to get a table next time I come. I'll take you there when you're in town. Richard O. Pete, does Bangkok feel like home now? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It does feel like home. I've been here a year and a half now on this trip. There are some things I miss about the UK, not too much. Obviously, my girls, I've got 2 daughters, one's 23, one's 25. They came out last year, but, I don't see them on a daily basis. I do keep in contact. I miss them. My ex-wife, she's a friend. I miss her friendship, not anything else, My dog, obviously, he's very, very old now. But one thing I used to really enjoy doing was long walks, in the countryside. It used to keep me healthy. And there's not a lot to do in England. And if you're an old hand at my streams, if you remember when I used to do the streams in the UK, I did explain to you that I did a little part-time job for the council because I was just bored doing nothing. I'd retired actually from the hotel industry. I used to drive a minibus. I used to have to pick up kids from the villages, not normal kids. They were not disadvantaged. They weren't, I don't know the right word to use. So there is a word to use. They weren't, what's the word? I don't want to say the wrong word now. They weren't quite there. I can't think. There is a word. Special needs. That's it. So they were special needs children, and they were spread out. And I'd have this minibus, and I'd pick up an escort. That's a woman who sits in case any of them kick off, because I'm driving, right? And I used to drop them off at the school at 9 o'clock, and that was nice, early in the morning, driving around all the little country roads of villages. And then I'd go back to the school at 3, pick them all up with the escort, drop them all off in the villages, and it took me an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, maybe an hour 10 minutes. And so I had a lot of time in between, and that's when I used to go out and walk my dog over the countryside. It's nice and cool in the UK most of the time, and even if it was raining, I used to just put on waterproof clothing and go out, and I miss that. Do I miss anything else? Not really. There's not a lot else to miss, actually. Everything else I can get here, and so much more. Right, I hope this isn't too raunchy. Here's 100 baht towards your lunch. You ought to read Fake Ed's story about the Connect 4 contest he lost. I did read it, but it's a bit too juicy for YouTube. They'll just demonetize me, Soy Dog, can't believe the Roti lady in Bangkok is now making a fortune chopping up bananas as a street vendor. She's doing really well. There must be somebody behind her. Somebody told me this morning she's been going 6 months and she's got 480,000 subscribers. What else did they tell? Because I've never really watched her. She's a good singer. She gets lots and lots of super chats, a lot. you know. So it's probably the one time in her life where she's going to make a bunch of money that will set her up for the rest of her life. So good luck to her, you know, good luck to her. I don't, you know, someone like me can't hold any, I don't know how to put it into words, but you know, good luck to her. That's all I can say. I don't want to spill any coffee on a white shirt. It's like that Queen of Pattaya, and Pattaya, she's got about 500,000 subscribers now. Amazing. Such big numbers. Roy, hi, just got back from visiting Buddha's footprint, 20 kilometers north of Chantaburi. Loved it. A challenge to get to the top. It was actually a little chilly, 1,000 meters high. Oh, that'd be nice, a little chilly. Toby Price, it would be a Portuguese port in Goa. Was okay, yeah, not Spanish. You're right. It was Portuguese. It would be a Portuguese port in Goa. Goa was a Portuguese territory until the 70s. Yeah, okay. I won't argue with that. Toby Price. Oh, I've just read that. Okay, Hobson's Choice. Afternoon all. Had 30 minutes rain in my part of Bangkok earlier. Yes, shall try visiting the Buddha soon. My cough is still hanging about after 2 weeks. I'm linking it to the pollution, you know, all the particles in the air. Dave the Rave, how you doing? Great name. Morning, Peter. Early stream today. I've been awake since 5:30. What's the time in the UK now? So it's 2:45, 10 to 3 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it'll be 8:45, 10 to 9 in the UK. And then the clocks are going, no, it's 7 hours at the moment, isn't it? So 10. It'll be 10 to 10. Then the clocks are going back or forward, 31st of March. And Nomad Overseas. I had that in Vietnam. Sun was blasting, but there was a cool wind back of my neck, was like a lobster after a few hours. You don't realize because you're out on a scooter and you're getting cool air. It's like when I go in the park. It's so hot if you just sit in the park, Bench Kitty Park here. But if I've got a bike that I go out on, right? So if I go out on the bike and I'm not really going that fast, right? I'm just pedaling like at a normal speed. Because the wind's coming over me, I don't really feel the heat too much. And then when I sit down, it's like being in a sauna. But I actually, when I'm out doing that, I actually like sitting down and sweating. You know, I really like it. It's like being in a sauna. Dave the Rave again. No, I didn't lose my leg, Peter. I thought the same thing. Okay. Hobson's Choice. 1 year ago today, I flew to Bangkok to make the move. Time flies on by. It does. It goes really, really quick. I've just done my 90-day report. I can't believe it. It seems like I've just done it. Next one's due on the 28th of May. I'll put that up. I can't read that out. Joyan Mold, is it? You come across so differently live streaming. Is this going to be bad or good? You come across so different live streaming than your storytelling persona. This is a real you. I fancy very personable. Okay, thank you. Telling the stories is a real me. I'm just reading stories. I mean, one guy wrote to me last week. And people say, why do you bother with the names, the naysayers, they call them? They say, why do you bother with the naysayers? Why do you talk about them? And I just think it's funny, you know, some of the things that people say. And I like telling you what they say and what I say back to them, because it's just, some of it is just crazy. Like guys will write in and say, look, all your stories have been crash and burn, miserable, depressing stories. How about next week you tell a success story? And I'm like, okay, send one in and I'll read it out. I can only read out what's sent in, right? I mean, I don't, you know, people do think I make them up, but I've probably got about 1,000 stories on the channel. And I have to be pretty clever to think that many up. E-Bags, is it E-Bag 78? Just watched Trump's speech from last night. Something religious about it. So amazing. There is hope. Okay, well, I won't get into politics here because last time I actually said, I said in a stream one time, oh, yeah, I thought Trump was okay. He's doing a good job when he was in. And I had about 5 people, oh, I'm unsubscribing. I had no idea you were a Trump supporter. He's a this and he's a that. And oh, no, that's it. Right, Franco. Okay. Had my swim. Let me put that up there. Had my swim. Not many people on the beach. Might be because of last week's holiday. I'd love to bring you in, Franco, so you could tell us. You're on the beach, right? Send me a message by text and let me know if you want to come in for a few minutes and just talk. You can put a shirt on so nobody sees your spectacularly fit body, right? And well, you can just tell us what it's like in Pattaya at the moment, because I was down there about 3 weeks ago and it was starting to tail off. You know, the high season's finished now. And there was still a lot of people about, but I could see it wasn't high season. So send me a message and let me know if you want to come in, and I'll send you a link and you can come in on your phone. I'm here now. Okay. Right, let's go back up to the comments. Lost my place now. There we are. That'll be Franco. I can guess what he's going to say. Franco. What the hell does that mean? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll ignore that. Right. Where are we? Right, Hobbs's Choice. What? Okay, I've read that. That was Texas Dave, Ebag, Dave the Rave. Yes, I'm flying to Bangkok next Friday for a week. Then I head to the Philippines for a month. I'm thinking about taking a little trip to the Philippines because I've met a few guys who work in the Philippines and they come out here because they like to come to Thailand. They just say it's more fun. But, you know, they say it's also fun in Philippines as well. And that's Franco. You said send a message. Yeah, I did say send a message, Franco, but I meant send a message saying, yes, I'm happy to come into the stream, or no, I'm not coming into the stream, because you're on the beach, aren't you? I don't know if you're with anybody, and you can give us a quick lowdown of what it's like. So if you want to come in, say yes, I'll send you a link and you can come straight in. Let's see if he comes in. Right, Paddy, hello again. Nice to mention Buddha to my comment earlier. I'm living in beautiful Arctic Tromsø and coming next month in Bangkok and Phuket. Can't wait for Songkran. I really enjoy your videos. Thanks very much, Paddy. I did have a very good time in Norway. Okay, I'll send you. I'll just send something to Franco down there on the beach, and then we'll get him in, and I'll carry on talking about this. Let me just get the invite link. That's. I've had to open it up on my PC now. Right. Okay, Franco, I've sent you the link. Just click it, and when I'm finished on this comment, I'll bring you in. So, yeah, Paddy, the one thing that shocked me about Norway, really beautiful, very clean, a lot of beautiful girls there. I was very young at the time. I think I was about 26, 27. But at that time, I don't know if it's the same because I've never been back, but it shocked me how many young girls are out on their own hitchhiking. You know, that had never happened in the UK because, you know, the bad things happen, right? But in Norway, it didn't seem to happen. The girls could get around because it's very, especially up in the north of Norway, it's very mountainous and rugged and spread out. And, you know, these young girls don't have transport and they're out on the highway or out on the road hitchhiking. And it seemed to be the norm. And the other thing I remember about Norway was they all make their own moonshine. So they used to come out to a nightclub, but it's so expensive in the nightclubs that what they do, they make the moonshine, drink it at home, get half cut, and then come out to the clubs to dance. That's how it used to be. I don't know if it's still like that. Right. And I did enjoy the fishing for the say, as I say, you know, it was like they'd come into the fjord and you see them come in. It was like a water boiling and you couldn't catch anything when it was like that. But then when it went totally still, you could drop your rod in and every time you pulled it out, you'd catch one like this. Fantastic fishing. Right, there he is. Put your camera down a bit, Franco, so I can see you. That's it. Right, up a bit. That's it. Perfect. Keep it there. Right, let's bring you in. There we are. Right. Can't you turn the camera the other way, Franco? Like, no. Right.
Where are you?
You're sideways now. Go back to how you were. Oh, he's gone.
Hang on a minute. Oh, I ain't gone.
You're sideways. Go up.
Hang on, it's his phone.
Oh my God. Blaming his phone.
Hang on a minute.
Now you're the other way. Oh
right.
My God.
How's that?
You and technology. Right. Okay. Go. I can't hear you very well.
You're joking.
Just give us a pan of the beach. Let's see how busy it is.
Hang on. Let me have a look. See if I can pan the beach.
I guess it's going to be. Yeah, that is quiet.
You see, look at all them empty chairs.
Yeah. It's quiet.
And going the other way.
Yeah, that's so much more quieter than when I was there a couple of weeks ago. I was thinking of coming down there tomorrow. I told you I was thinking of driving down tomorrow. Well, just have a walk up to the pavement and let us see the beach road. See how busy it is.
Can you see
that sexy body? I don't know how the girls resist when you're down there.
Oh, shut up! Look, they've got some on here this weekend because all these tents out again. Let's see.
You'll have to shout, Franco, because you ain't got a mic.
I said they've got all these tents out again, so obviously something's going to happen this weekend.
Oh, okay. But
go
out onto the road and let's see it. What are the bars like there?
No, I can't see any bars. You've only got that fat Coco.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're there. You're at the far end, aren't you?
Yeah. But
So you
last week that road you couldn't cross. It was that busy.
right? So does it feel like low season now?
Feels like no season, actually. Be honest with you.
No season.
Yeah, no season. As if everybody's gone home.
So you're looking for? I know this is a stupid question, but are you looking forward to going home tomorrow or Tuesday rather?
Tuesday, yeah, I've got lots to do when I get back, and then I'll see what I've got on the pipeline, and then I'll probably be back August.
Do you remember the Buggles? Radio killed the video star, or the other way around.
Yeah.
Killed the. Do you remember the Buggles? Them glasses make you look like that guy, the singer from the Buggles.
Does it? How about that?
That's even worse. Jesus, put them back on.
Oh, blimey.
I'm only joking. All right. Well, I might come down tomorrow. We'll see. So thanks for your.
Let me know in the morning, and then
okay.
I've got to take my bike back at 12 o'clock. And then
all right. I'll call you later. Okay. All right.
Oh.
Cheers. There you go, Franco. I would have kept him in longer, but it's difficult to hear him, isn't it? Because he's he's still there. Let me just get rid of him. Kick from studio. Okay, right. Yeah, so Franco's down in Pattaya, as you've seen, and he's leaving on Tuesday. He's been there for about 6 weeks. And actually, I went down there a few weeks ago to see him. I don't know if Nick will see this. He's down there. He's another viewer I've met in a couple of times. I first met Nick in the London the Thai festival in London a couple of years ago, and then I met him in Pattaya, and he's been back a few times since. He'd never been to Thailand before. He went to Cambodia for a week, then he came to Pattaya for a week, and I was like, well, what did you think of Cambodia? And he says next time I'll come straight to Pattaya. He says it's much more fun than Cambodia. So he's down there at the moment. So I might go down. I might go down and see Phil from La Pub as well. I was meant to go and see him last time, but the traffic. I was down there on Valentine's night, and the traffic, you couldn't move. It was heaving, So I had to call that off. Right, let's get back into some of these comments. If you just joined us, welcome. Been going for about an hour now. No, we haven't. About half an hour. An ad hoc Sunday stream, as you can see, beautiful downtown Bangkok behind me there, through my bedroom window. Jet Malone says Dave the Rave is famous. Anders Bergerman, how you doing? Jerry Time. Okay, I'm sure it is a real Vladimir Putin. What's the going rate at the rub and tug these days on the soy? Do you know on Soy 8 they've got, I know you're kind of joking, but I will give you some rates, but they've got a new place opened up on Soy 8. It's called Fantasy, okay? It's literally just opened about a week ago, and a friend and I a viewer actually went in there to do a recce. And we thought it was just a regular. I didn't have a massage, but we just went in to get prices, because it's a big place. If you're familiar with Soy 8, you come in from Sukhumvit Road. You go. It's right down where Det 5. If you're familiar where Det 5 is, it's coming right further down there. It's on the right there, and it's really weird because it doesn't say in English massage. A Thai person. I said, "What's this?" A Thai person said, "Oh, it's a massage," but it's got a big sign saying Fantasy. So we thought, "Oh, we'll go in and see what the price is like," and it was like 2,000 baht, but apparently you get the full, like you walk in and they give you a cold cocktail, a drink or something, and I don't know what goes on after that, but and then we were offered a reduction because we made our excuses. But generally speaking, the rates in the massage parlors are about the same. It's anything from 300 baht for a traditional, like a normal massage, just a Thai massage, up to about 500-600 baht, depending if you have the essential oils and all the rest of it. And any extras you negotiate with the girls. So I don't really want to talk about that here, but them prices are kind of haven't changed either. Right, Ryan Seeger, hello, and it's 7:52 a.m. in the UK. Okay, thank you, Ryan. Joe Ford, here's a good tip: never eat T6 hat Thai dish cow soy where you have a white sheet. Okay, don't eat any soup basically when you got a white t-shirt on. There's nothing worse than going out for a night out and you're going to meet friends and you're going to be out till 2-3 in the morning and you think I'll have a bite first, and you get some kind of a Thai noodle soup and you're wearing something like this and you got splashes of noodle soup and you've got to go home and change your shirt because you can't turn up like that. Okay, Ethanol Dreams. Hired a road bike in Phuket a few years ago and made the mistake of going for a big ride around 2 p.m. Spent the next 3 days close to death in my hotel room. Yeah, I wouldn't go that long. I remember I went to Koh Larn once and I hired a bike and I did a ride for about an hour and it was brutally hot, brutally hot. And I stopped off at all the viewing platforms and the other side of the island. And it was really good fun because on Koh Larn it's very, very hilly and you're going up on a bike, especially someone on the back, little 125 Honda Click, right? And then you go down these steep hills and sharp bends and it's kind of, you got to basically watch what you're doing. But I enjoyed it. But I don't think, 3 hours, I probably would have come back like a lobster. You don't want to be out in the sun that long. Scott Beard, reward are most Thailand women with foreigners trying to, did you write that earlier? Reward are most Thai women with foreigners trying to scam them? No, not at all. This is a problem. And I'm not having a go at you. I'm just saying in general, one of the problems in Thailand is people who, if they haven't been here or had a relationship, they think, they watch a lot of YouTube channels like mine, and there's a lot of people in, especially a place like Pattaya, that make these, and the stories are about bar girls and short term and soapy massages and all this sort of thing, and that's what people want to hear about. They don't want to watch a video about some guy going around a temple, not very often anyway. And the problem is you can get frosted glasses. You can kind of think, oh, all Thai girls are like that. And actually, the majority of Thai women are very decent. They're very, very good women. It's only because a lot of foreigners who come out here, they're only coming out for a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. It's easy because the bar girls speak English, so they can communicate. They're willing to come out of the bar and go with them for an aerobic session, as it were. And that's why guys tend to go with them, obviously. And they kind of think, well, all Thai women must be like this, but they're not, no, not at all. I mean, I know people who are married to Thai women, they've got families with them, and there's a lot of guys who'll tell you who are here in Thailand, they got Thai girlfriends, they live up in the sticks in Isan. There's YouTube channels where there's a young guy, he's up in the sticks somewhere, and he speaks fluent Thai, he's with his wife and that, and no, they make great partners. It's just if you're unlucky, there are certain people around, especially tourist areas like this Sukhumvit area and Pattaya, where they know there's a lot of foreigners, and if they're scammers, if they're girls who are looking for money by scamming guys, they're not going to go somewhere that doesn't have any tourists, are they? Like Thai communities, because they're going to know what they're up to. So no, I mean, don't think that. There's a lot of nice girls about. Right, Filthy Rich. I met my Thai girlfriend in Australia. We've been dating for a year. I'm 40. She's 21. She just flew home to Thailand today. She was there for a month before I join her. Okay, so look, I'm not going to be judgmental with you, but the only thing I'd say with that, I mean, 21, what do you talk about? Because, I mean, I remember when I was 40, I'd be starting to talk about serious issues, but a 21-year-old girl, what does she want to talk about? K-pop, the latest fashion, how she wants her hair done, I mean, good luck to you, really. But it's just a big age gap, isn't it? Dutch Farang, how you doing? I wonder if it's the real Dutch Farang that we haven't seen. No, it's a different one, but hi. Hi, Shane. How you doing? Good to see you in the stream. Jamie Cameron, I use Sun Umbrella in Hastings, but Sodom. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I have got an umbrella that I use for the rain. I might use it when I walk up the street. How do you pronounce that first word? So it won't be pronounced like an X, like a Chinese word. They don't use X's, do they? So is it Z? I won't try and guess. Golf club. Question: is YouTube worthwhile financially? I know a lot of creators speak about not making much unless they have under 100 subs. So people make the mistake thinking the more subs you have, the more money you make, and that is true when you get to like millions of subscribers. But it's basically watch time. It's how long people watch your videos. If you have a guy like, say, if I had 10 videos that were an hour long and they were very interesting and they watched all those 10 videos, I'd probably make more money than a guy who's got 100 videos that are 2 minutes long, because it's how long your videos are long and how many adverts they can put on, that sort of thing. But the problem is a lot of people think YouTube is a get quick rich scheme. I've met so many people who come out here and I say, what are you doing? They say, well, I've just come out. I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to, and I'm like, you haven't got a clue. I mean, I did 40 hours a week on YouTube for 18 months before I made a penny. Other like the royalty lady, she's in there like that. Yeah, I mean, it can be financially rewarding. He's right. If you got under 100,000 subs, you're not making huge amounts of money, but it tops up your income. Like if I didn't have YouTube here, I couldn't live such a nice life that I live. You take the YouTube away, I could stay here, I could survive. But the YouTube just gives me that cherry on the cake. And if you're going to do a YouTube channel and you're in Thailand, just find your own niche. It's really hard because there's hundreds of people here now doing YouTube channels. But if you look around, you know, there's travel vloggers, but how many travel vloggers are in Thailand? You know, there's always some, and for God's sake, don't do a Pattaya channel, because there's like, there must be 100 people down there walking around LK Metro with a stick, you know, a selfie stick. And I know a guy who owns a few bars in Tree Town. He said it's ridiculous. He said every night you see these guys walking around with cameras and they're talking to the camera, so they're doing live streams and all the rest of it, and it's just saturated now. So if you're going to do a YouTube channel, get your own niche market, try and come up with something that other people aren't doing, or not many, or do better than them. You know, you're a part of a golf club by the look of it. Maybe that's a good, you know, golf is very, very popular in Thailand, isn't it? As is pool. Mark Santoro, here in Thailand for 2 weeks, first going to Koh Samui for 3 days tomorrow. Great live chat today, still suffering from jet lag. Okay, Mark, you'll have a good time. I was there recently, Koh Samui. No, I was on Koh Samet, not Koh Samui. Right, Craig Mitchum, Shane, Franco by the beach. Yeah, Rock Lobster, Franco. Toby Price, a Norwegian moonshine was brutal, but did the job. Yeah, yeah. I tried it once. It nearly took the gold out of my teeth. Chris Card, why is it so quiet now? Do you mean my microphone, or do you mean Pattaya? If you mean Pattaya, I'll try and guess that you mean Pattaya. It's because we've come out of high season now, Chris. High season is generally around November to end of January, because it's cooler. Well, it's supposed to be. It hasn't been cool this year. And then as we wind down through February and March, we'll start getting into kind of in between. High season is gone, okay, and it's going to be going down. Now we're going to get into low season, which is the hot months of the year. You know, June, July, August is low season. You know, it's very, very hot. People don't want to come here when it's so hot. And then it will start to pick up again around October. Then we're back into high season around November. And don't forget, we've got the rainy season coming that lasts for about 3 months. And when it rains here, I mean, you've got the streets turn into rivers. They really do. I'm not exaggerating there. So that's why the numbers are low, you know, if that's what you meant, actually. Dave the Rave, eBag 78, Trump's speech was religious, amazing. Okay, I'm not going to. Somebody's been set off already with politics. Right, Craig, don't know what you mean by that. You say just jog up to the third road then. Maybe you're speaking to somebody else. Mark AP, hi Peter, would 5,000 Thai baht per day be enough for a 10-day trip to Pattaya? Yeah, definitely. It depends on how you budget yourself. I mean, you could, you know, have a few drinks with the ladies. You could entertain the ladies, but it's not enough to go mad on, you know. I mean, if your hotel's paid for already, where did you say Pattaya or Thailand? No, I'll go back. There's a lot of comments coming in there, and I've lost that one. Hang on. I've lost it. I don't know. Okay, there we are. I'll put it up there so I don't hear. Pattaya, same Pattaya. Okay, so Pattaya is a lot cheaper than Bangkok. There's a lot better deals. For example, you go out to a bar here in Bangkok, you'll generally pay anything between 170, 180 to 220 in a go-go bar for a small Heineken like that. Whereas in Pattaya, you'll pay 50 to 70 baht generally. You can go in a go-go bar and get draft beer for 60 baht, you know, in LK Metro. I've done it. So it's definitely cheaper. Ladies' drinks, you can't get away from them. They're a little bit cheaper in Pattaya. Yeah, 5,000. It's not, you're not going to live like a king, but you can have a good time on 5,000 a day. Okay, Matteo says, beautiful. I'll be back early May. So you're talking about Franco's on the spot report. He's a good guy, Franco. I'm not just saying that because he's in the stream. I'll tell you how I met Franco. I've told this story before. So we live in the same town, a place called Kettering in Northamptonshire. Okay, obviously I don't live there anymore. And Franco used to be a viewer. He still is now. And when I used to walk my dog at night, there was a kind of a service road. So you've got the main road, and then there's a service road with a few houses on it. And a couple of times I heard this, like I was walking my dog and I heard this, Peter, someone shouting. I'm like, who the hell is that? Didn't think anything more of it. And then one time I was going down this service road, and there was this 4x4, big 4x4 sitting there with this bald guy there, and he was watching me walking towards him. And I thought, Jesus, who's this guy? And I kind of walked by, his window was open, he called me, and then that's how we met, and we've become friends, and the rest is history, as they say. I always get one, don't I, JD? Thanks for completely ignoring me. Okay, let me see if I can see your comment. No. There we are. Right. JD, hello, Thailand bound. Any work opportunities in Thailand for a foreigner? Yeah, sure. If you don't mind working for a Thai salary, of course. No, this is a question that comes up quite often. You know, there's a lot of protected industries in Thailand. Like, you can't come here and be an electrician or a taxi driver or a plumber or anything. The only thing you can do here is either teach or come as a specialist job. You know, something specialist that the Thais aren't doing, or they need. I'm trying to think of a job that you could do if you came out here and made your own business, for instance. But that's not cheap or easy to do. But business opportunities, this is what happens to Simon, my friend who's got the big mushroom factory over in Bangkok. People say, look, I'm an electrician or whatever, can I come and work for you? And he's like, yeah, if you don't mind a Thai salary, £200 a month, you know, or $300, whatever. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, so was it JD? I hope you're. I don't ignore. I'll just put that up again. Look, I don't ignore comments. Okay, I'm on my own and I stop and I talk about things, and I kind of click the comments as I'm going through, and some of them don't get through. So if you think I've missed your comment and you're asking a question, just write it again. I'll pick it up the second time or third time even. I know you're joking, but I will answer that. Nope, it's not cheaper whatsoever. A lot of young dudes go to Pattaya and they think, oh, well, I won't pay for it because I'm young and I'm handsome and, you know, I don't pay for it at home. But, you know, what they don't understand is the girls are not there to meet young, handsome men. They're there to make money. And it doesn't matter what you look like. If you've got cash in your wallet, they're interested. Okay, simple as that. Geostone, how are property prices going, and is it worth buying an apartment at condo? I always kind of recommend people not to buy an apartment or a condo. Well, you can't buy land here anywhere. Foreigner can't buy land, especially agricultural land. You can buy an apartment in an apartment building as long as there's at least not more than 40% foreigners in that building. So in other words, if you've got 100 apartments in a building, it has to be at least 60 of them are bought by Thai people and 40 bought by foreigners. Okay, but I don't think they follow that so strictly. But no, I don't think so, because I've never owned a property, but I know a lot of people who have, and it's always the same story. When they buy here, they come in and they think, yep, I love it here, it's perfect, and they buy a house and they think they're going to stay there forever. Some people do, but a lot of people, what happens, they want to sell and they really struggle to sell here because the market's saturated. Okay, it's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. And what happens, people get stuck with these properties for years, and they end up like just keep reducing the price until they're, you know, rock bottom, and then they probably will sell. And don't forget, the other thing is you're dealing with contracts in Thai, you're dealing with Thai lawyers as well. And the other simple reason is you might live there for a year and think, you know what, I want to move. I'm bored here. I want to go to another part of Thailand. Or you might meet a girl who turns out to be something you didn't think she was going to be, and she becomes dangerous, you know, like some bar girl who threatens your life or something with a family, you know, and you want to move. Well, if you own your own property, that's not so easy to do, is it? So personally speaking, and it's just a personal opinion, everybody's entitled to opinion, and that's my opinion. I'd say rent rather than buy. And the other thing on the rental is rent is so cheap in Thailand compared to your own country. Mark, hi, Franco. Thanks. I'm not really a drinker, so wouldn't be spending a lot on alcohol. Some guys mentioned spending 10K Thai baht per day. That's insane. It is insane. I've seen bar bills of 28,000, 30,000 baht from a guy who's been in a bar a couple of hours, you know. Yeah, but the problem is when you don't drink a lot, even if you drink soft drinks, they're not much cheaper than the alcoholic drinks, because the bars don't really want people sitting there who are not making money for the bar. So, you know, you can buy a bottle of soda water from 7-Eleven, for instance, for 15 baht, but you're probably going to get charged in Bangkok. I went for a meal with somebody yesterday, lunch, and he ordered a soda water, and it was 70 baht in this restaurant. It was just a little restaurant, you know, nothing special. So don't expect any big discounts because you're not drinking alcohol. Scott Wong, can you talk about the Thai, I can't pronounce it, Japanese street in Bangkok? Some YouTube videos say they only accept Japanese clients. Is that true? It is true. You're talking about, if I'm correct in reading the Tania, you've got Pat Pong Wong, okay, and I can't remember which side, and then there's a gay soy, and then there's a couple of Japanese soys, okay. I'm not sure which one is called what you're saying there, okay. But it's true. What happens? You'll go and they'll just say no, Japanese only. They won't let you in. And I think most of them are like that. And actually, there are some races in Nana Plaza. I'm not going to get into a race thing, but I've been in go-go bars in Nana Plaza where certain races come to go in, and the security just like, no, they won't let them in. Okay, I'm just describing what I've seen. And it's the same for us. If I go to this place you're talking about, Japanese bars, many of them will just say, no, it's Japanese only. And that's the end of the conversation. You can't, they just don't want you in there for whatever reason. Would you recommend spending a couple of days in Bangkok? Would 2 days be enough to see Bangkok? No. 2 months wouldn't be enough to see Bangkok. It depends what you want to do. When you say see Bangkok, if you've just been watching videos and you want to go out to Soy Cowboy and Nana Plaza and down to Thermi, then yeah. But if you want to come here and you want to go and visit, you know, a couple of temples, have a ride on the river, a cruise on the river, and go and see some tourist sites, no, you need at least a week, you know, just to scratch the surface, you know. It's a big place, Bangkok, 10 million people. Dutch Frank, I'm the real deal. So where have you been all this time then, Dutch? Halfway around the world. Love the channel of the Thailand. Love the channel. Off to Thailand in April for Songkran with my Thai wife. A couple of days in Pattaya, then back to the village in Udon Thani. Good stuff. Nice place, Udon Thani. Couple of silly comments coming in here from I'm having to take time to kind of put people out. Okay, the bloke going around the market interviewing women is getting full on. Saw a clip the other day. Yeah, I know who he is. He used to have a regular channel, and he just disappeared out the blue because somebody made a video about him personally, and he disappeared. And he suddenly sprung up with these new channels, and he's doing extremely well. So. You know, I mean, what I was talking about earlier was finding your own niche, and obviously, you know, sticking a camera in girls' faces is his niche, you know. But he's doing very well. He's got a lot of subscribers. I understand, but I'm not sure what you mean. The bloke going around the market interviewing women is getting a bit full on. How do you mean by full on? Right, Toby Price. I would say 10 years and under is a good age difference with Thai women. Been with my wife 15 years, married 10 years, and 40. Still going fine. Yeah, that's good. So that see, it's not such a look down on thing here, the age difference. You know, in your own country, I mean, I'm 64 in April. If I had a girlfriend of 38, for instance, you know, they'd be calling me cradle snatcher, and people would look at me funny in the pub. I'd walk around the supermarket, people would be looking me up and down like I'm some kind of a pervert. Okay, but it's not like that in Thailand. You know, it's not, the age thing is not a big deal. Okay, but what the numbers people generally go on is half your age plus 7. So if you're 50, for instance, half of your age is 25, obviously, add 7 is 32. So if you're 50, really, to be in a relationship where you can have conversations where a person have things of the same interest, you want to do what she wants to do and vice versa, that's a good benchmark to say, okay, well, when I'm looking for a woman, I shouldn't look for anybody younger. I'm not talking about an overnight game of aerobics or a game of Connect Four. I'm talking about a relationship, a long-term relationship. Okay, if you're looking for somebody that you want to, you know, spend a year or two with, or maybe the rest of your life, a good tip is half your age plus 7. And that, like I say, if you're 50, that means 32 and up, right? Leeds, morning, Peter. How's it going? Going very well, Leeds. Thanks for joining the stream. Filthy Rich again. When traveling around Phuket, would it be similar to bring? Would it? I think mean being in. Yeah, you said when traveling around Phuket, would it be similar to Bali? Is the sense of hiring a driver to take you around for a full day, or am I better off sticking to taxis or Grab? So this is a bone of contention in Phuket. It's one of the few places in Thailand where it's really expensive to get a taxi. You know, there's a kind of bit of a taxi mafia down there. They've had the local governors kind of say, look, you know, treat foreigners a bit better. And it's just a fact of life on Phuket. Taxis are real expensive. And if you can get a driver, if you can hire a driver for the day at a reasonable price, then yeah, that would probably be a good idea. I'd say somewhere like Bangkok, for instance, no way, because you've got the BTS, the MRT, motorcycle taxis, you know, they're everywhere. You don't, excuse me, you don't need to hire somebody for the day, but Phuket, it's renowned for very expensive. And they've got these little mini buses, these little Nissan things. They're tiny little red buses, and they're just a charger. They'll charge you like 800 baht to go from Nana Station to Cowboy. a nomad overseas. I was in Pattaya at Christmas and New Year. Girlfriend is Mama San in bar. The place was dead. Honestly, was sad to see when I think back to pre-COVID. Yeah, it's all changed. It's all changed. I mean, they say now Thailand is back to pre-COVID, what it was, but it's not. It's everything's open again and everything's running, but the atmosphere isn't the same. When you go into, I said earlier in the stream, I don't go to gogo bars very often, but I do go occasionally. You know, if I've like Simon, my friend, if he comes over, which is rare now in an evening, then we'll go to Cowboy or we'll go to Nana or somewhere. I don't particularly enjoy them anymore, but it's changed. The whole atmosphere's changed, and it's like it's just goddamn expensive now. So expensive. You know, the bars are asking kind of like anything from 800 to 1200 baht. Bar fine. I mean, there's a bar in Cowboy. I just asked out of interest one of the waiters. I said, "What's the bar fine?" She said, 1300 baht, and I'm like, 1300, you know, just for a bar fine. And then the ladies' drinks were 200 baht each, and the girl wants 4,000 baht. So you think about it. You go in, you see a girl you like, you call her off stage, you end up buying her 2 or 3 drinks. So that's, you know, 600 baht. The bar fine 1300 in this particular bar, so 1300 plus 6, so you've already 1900. Okay, then she wants 4,000, so that's 5,900, and they always want a tip or a taxi fare home, so 6,000. You're talking, you know, near on $200. It's a lot of money, £150, and I'm not whinging, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's not cheap. And before COVID, you had a lot of the tens in the bar. You know what I mean by the tens, the 8s, 9s, and 10s, but they just seem to have not come back. You know, I think a lot of them have gone online. You know, they're on these OnlyFans, OnlyFans, and they're making money online, and they don't want to go back to the bars, and who can blame them? And the girls nowadays, you go around the bars in Pattaya. There are 1 or 2 venues where they still have really hot girls, but most of the beer bars and stuff, it's like, you know, what's happened? So it's not quite the same. Broadcast Dave. Hi, handsome man. Where is he? Okay. Been a long time follower, new member, coming to Thailand next month for the first time. Okay, Broadcast Dave, if you're in Bangkok, give me a shout up. Maybe we can meet up for a coffee in the day. Midweek is best for me. Daniel Webb, plenty of opportunities here. I started a snow removal business, doing great. That's good, Daniel. Well done to you. Not sitting around doing nothing. I met a couple in the Red Lion the other night. Really nice couple, and I can't, for the sake of me, remember their names. It was a man and a woman. They were in the Red Lion, having right at the other end near the door, and I was in a booth with somebody having dinner, and the waitress come up with a beer, and she says, "Oh, it's from over there." And I went over to speak to them to say thank you, and they're a really nice couple. And they said, "Look, we've been watching your channel, enjoy it and everything." And I was like, "How long are you here for?" And, you know, normal sort of chit chat. And I doubt they'll see this, but if you do watch this on the rerun later in the day or later in the week, it was great to meet you, and thank you very much for the beer. And I hope you got home safely, because I know you were going back, right? And don't worry, I've got a terrible memory. I forget everybody's name. Right, Whitaker, that's a name and a half, isn't it? Should we call you sir? Whitaker Winstanley III. Hi, Peter. Maybe that's a great name. Whitaker Winstanley III. Right. Okay. Hi, Peter. Maybe you already addressed this, but how is the air quality in Bangkok? I did address it, and I spoke about it for quite a long time. On a good day, it's still into the 70s, 60s, 70s. I use an app. I'll show you. I showed you last week. It's a good app for checking. It's called IQ Air. Okay. So let's have a look. Right. It's gone up. It was 64 this morning, and as you can see, it's 84. Well, even in Bangkok, that's quite a good day. Because yesterday it was red and it was 175. So it's an issue at the moment because of the burning, you know, all the burning up north. Hopefully when the rainy season comes, the one good thing about it is we'll get good air again. Okay. Chris, yes, absolutely. You said it in shorter way than I did. Geostone, thanks. Mark L. Yeah, they're not so strict on the 60-40s Thai Farang. My building, 100 apartments, I'd say 70% are foreign. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that, you know, I rent here. I'm very, very lucky. I've mentioned this lots and lots of times. I'm on my 2nd year. They haven't put the rent up. I'm paying 20,000 baht. I'm really close to Nana BTS. It's real quiet at my end of the soy. It's 50.2 square meters. It's got beautiful wooden floors, balcony, washing machine, great pool on the roof. The only downside is there's no view. You can see outside, just behind that tree, there's a building. Okay, so this is my bedroom window. The lounge window's next door, and there's a big tree that's got a canopy which kind of cuts out a lot of the light. But hey, for 50 square meters for 20,000, I'm not complaining. I think the rent will go up this year in December if I want to stay here. I'm kind of thinking about moving down to Hua Hin. I'm not sure yet. Bangkok's great. I think somebody asked me earlier, why do you stay in Bangkok and not Pattaya? I'd never live in Pattaya. I've lost that question, but I remember seeing it. The reason I came to Bangkok is because when a lot of people fly into Bangkok and they want to meet, they're in Bangkok, aren't they? They're not in Hua Hin or maybe Pattaya. And it's a cosmopolitan city. And I think the difference between here and, say, Pattaya, for instance, it's in your face all the time in Pattaya. It's a bubble, isn't it? You kind of forget there's a world outside Pattaya. But here, you have to go to those locations. It's not so much in your face. You know, it's a normal life. You know, people, you see people going to work in the mornings. People are not all walking around in Singer cut-off vests, flip-flops and shorts. You know, the Thais dress normal, foreigners dress normal. And, you know, there's a lot of good malls and stuff here and good food. But, you know, on the downside of it, you have got the pollution and the traffic. And I've got a car, you know, I hardly use it. I mean, I went down to Pattaya, as I keep saying. 3 weeks ago, I came back. I haven't used it since then because there's no point. Once I hit Sukhumvit Road, it's like I'm in the biggest car park in the world. So I go everywhere on the scooter, which is great because I can weave in and out of traffic. I can cut over Sukhumvit Road, you know. But having a car, I've got it, but I hardly use it. So I'm kind of thinking loosely about moving down to Hua Hin at the end of this contract. I'm not sure. As far as I know, there's only one serious YouTuber in Hua Hin. I know the guy, and I can do some different stuff to what he's doing. Right, Highlander, hello from the Philippines, 31 degrees there. That's pretty hot. How you doing, Highlander? Toon Wooters. Okay, right. So you're just confirming what we were saying earlier. So I can't pronounce the word. Is it Pattaya Road? Caters to groups of Japanese businessmen only, because this thing with the Japanese, where they're different to us, they, you know, for us, we'll go into a bar, have a beer, look at girls, for instance, and you might buy a lady's drink, and then you do some negotiation. That's how we do it, right, in the West. But Japanese guys, they do this thing where they, you know, they'll sit at a table, a bunch of them, they'll bring a, you know, bottle of Black Label, mixers, couple of plates of fruit and snacks, nuts, cashew nuts, and all that thing. And they don't ask the Japanese. They don't ask how much, right? They just get on with it. And then they don't get one girl to sit with them. They get a bunch of girls. You know, they'll get maybe half a dozen girls. And they'll be on a big sofa. They'll be, you know, maybe singing a little bit. And you know, they spend a lot of money. And the clubs obviously prefer that to some guy, you know, like me, for instance, walking and ordering a Heineken, sitting there for half an hour and walking out. You know, so you can understand it. Fair enough. I did answer this earlier, Keith, but I'll just tell you very, very quickly. Not much. I'm not missing much. I miss the cooler weather sometimes. I miss my dog, miss my girls, and that's pretty much it, really. Dutch, I was banned. Okay, not by me. I think we've had this conversation. So if it's really you, I'm glad you're back in. And I'm presuming you opened a new YouTube account because you did ask me, and I did go and look several times, and we couldn't get to the bottom of it. But it's good to have you back in because you were in the early days, the COVID days. Do you remember? Okay, Marco. Yeah, Thayana and Ceylon, don't bother, guys. Japanese Mama Sam, Papa Sam won't jive, but the girls would otherwise, and most of them are Thai Jap mix. Okay. Yeah, and there's certain bars in Nana Plaza that kind of cater to the Japanese and Koreans as well. I mean, if you go in the Rainbow Bar, and lots of Rainbow bars now, but when you go into Nana, the one right in the far corner, you'll see a lot of the girls in there. They try to look Japanese. They do their hair in a certain way and the makeup, and they dress in a certain way to appeal to the Japanese. And you have a lot in there. What I don't like is when you go to a bar like Baccarat in Soy Cowboy. It's a great bar. It's got a glass dance floor, and you can sit downstairs and look up, right? But the upstairs is smoking, and it seems like every Korean person in the world who comes here smokes cigarettes. Okay, I used to be a smoker, so I'm not going to preach about it, but it's horrible because you're sitting there and it's strong, and then when you get home, your clothes, you take them off, put them on the floor, and in the morning your whole room's reeking of stale smoke. You know, I don't tend to go in those bars where they allow smoking. And we went for lunch yesterday, and it's a kind of open restaurant. We were inside. A guy sits right next to us, lights up. Well, if you don't smoke, it's so pungent. We had to move tables, you know. I'm whinging now. Franco, man of leisure. Having my toenails done while watching, so relaxing. Are you sure it's only your toenails that are getting done, Franco? Make the most of it before you hit that plane. Okay. Mark L, the girls look interested, but mum pop shuts you down. Okay, so you're still talking about the Japanese street. So the girls look interested when you approach, but they shut you down. Okay, enough of that. Zoom Wheels Brian, moving to Thailand in 2 years, had enough of the UK. I've got a Thai girlfriend. She's 29, living the dream. Yeah, a lot of people I've noticed a lot of people have moved out this year. There's a guy who lives in Soi 10 I'm quite friendly with. He's moved out recently. And the agent that I'm recommending now, Mark and Pom in Soi 6 of all places, if you want to get your long-term visas, driving licenses, bank accounts, all that sort of thing, I'm now recommending Mark and Pom from Soi 6. Quick plug there. He did mine. The thing is, he's English, so communication is really great. His wife's a lovely woman, and straight off the subject here, but if you are planning to come out here, their office is right down the bottom. You go past all the bars with the girlies, and they're nearly the last one on the left. It's called One Stop Visa, so I'm recommending them from now on. And but why not? If you're financially stable, if you can come out here, what you don't want to do, I see a lot of guys a few guys in Pattaya over the years where they retire too soon, or they come out and they don't have enough money, and they end up hating the tourists because, a 2-week millionaire comes out. That's the term, somebody comes out, saves up for the holiday. They got maybe, I don't know, $4,000 or $5,000 pounds. They're only there for a month. They're ringing the bell. They're taking the girls. They're splashing the cash because they've saved up for it, right? And you'll get guys in Pattaya who've retired early and they're really on a tight budget, and they eat street food, and they're hanging around trying to get people to buy them beers and stuff, and they absolutely hate the tourists. And these are the sort of guys, when you leave 100 baht tip to the waitress because she's looked after you for the last 2 hours and you think she's done a good job, you put 100 baht in her hand so that she can keep that 100 baht. They'll turn around and say, oh, you're spoiling it for everybody else. I never leave a tip, or I leave 20 baht, and you're like, you do what you want, pal, but I'm leaving 100 baht. So yeah, if you're in a financial situation, you can come out here. Just don't underestimate. What I say to people, if you're doing a budget to come out here, put a third on the budget, because you always go over. And if you put a third on and you don't go over a third, then you're in the positive, aren't you? You're in the black, as it were. Kev, how are you doing? Greetings from Royette. Hope all is well. Yep, good to see you, Kevin. Matthew, also good to see you. Right, Kev, again, one Zoom Wheels, living the dream, time will tell. Yeah. I can't see me living in Bangkok full time for the next few years. I'm getting older now. I'm slowing down. I don't know how long I can keep YouTube going. I still enjoy it. I still like putting the stories together and everything. But the thing is, the fact of the matter is, somewhere like Hua Hin, you can, something like this I can get for 8,000 baht a month. I'm paying 20 for this. Okay, I'm in Bangkok. Food and drinks is just so much more expensive here. There will be people who leave comments and say, no, you're going to the wrong places. You can eat in Bangkok dirt cheap. I've been to this food cart, or I go to this restaurant. It's 50 baht for a plate of rice. But I don't like to eat all the time like that. I do like Farang food. I like Thai food. There's a restaurant I go to on Soi 33, Imogen, little Thai place, clean, good prices. I love it. I go to one down here on Soi 14. A Thai restaurant, but I do like foreign food, and foreign food can be expensive in Bangkok, and I would like to reduce my costs eventually. And I like Hua Hin at the end of the day. It's a nice town, boring for some people, but I like it. Right, I'll put that up. I agree with that. Chris, give it a thumbs up, guys. Peter makes us dream again of our next trip with the stream. The other thing about living here, you kind of get blasé to it, because like I'll get guys who like people I've met out here, viewers who have become friends, and they're back home now, and they'll send me the odd WhatsApp message because they're back on WhatsApp now. They're out of Thailand, and they say, "Oh, you're so lucky you live there. You can do this, you can do that, you can go." And it's like when you live here, you don't tend to do it. It's like when you come here on holiday, you've got a limited time, say 10 days, 2 weeks, and you think, right, I'm going to Cowboy tonight, I'm going to Nana later, I'm heading down to Pattaya for 3 days, then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do all this stuff, and then you're back on the plane, you go home. But when you're here, and it's on your doorstep and you can do it anytime you want, all them things I've just described, you tend to not go out that much. I don't go out very often in the evenings. By the time I do a lot of editing in the evenings. I'll go out and make videos, do some editing in the evenings, and then at night time, it gets to like 8, 9 o'clock. I might go out and have dinner with somebody. I'll come back, have a shower, a little bit more on the computer. And, come 9:30, I'm thinking, God, I'm getting tired now. I just sit down and put the air conditioner on, watch Netflix. I've done it, been there, done it, the bars. Right, Kev again. Zoom, I'm 66, living now. Thailand will not call it living the dream. Nowhere is perfect. Nowhere is perfect. The medicine here is very good. The hospitals are very good, but you have to pay for it. At the moment, I'm going for a checkup every 3 weeks, and I go to this place. Let me just make sure there's no personal information there. It's a great hospital, but I'm going to change because it's quite expensive. It's up on Rama 4, Med Park. It's on a par with Buminggrad on Soi 3. It's a top hospital, and I've been going there. But every time I go there, it costs me 10,000 baht because I have a blood test, urine test, check all my organs, my blood pressure, everything. But I know I can get it down the road in another private hospital for about 3,000 baht. So, which I used to go to. So I'm in the process of changing now. But if you're getting on in age-wise, like if you're over 60, I think it's really important that you do check yourself out, because a lot of things that can happen to you, they can find out before it actually happens. I've always been worried. I've been a bit of a hypochondriac, to be honest with you, and I've always been worried about having a heart attack because I'm a little bit overweight now, although I'm not as big as I was when I was in the UK. And what they do when they take the blood and they can measure the triglycerides, which mine were very high, and they can measure your everything, your blood pressure, everything. And they put me on blood pressure tablets, and my blood pressure came down I think it should be something like 120 over 90, I think it is, or 80, something around there. Mine was like 150 over 100, and they put me on these blood pressure medicine, and it come down again. Anyway, I'm rambling again. The whole point of the story is, if you're over 60 and you're coming out here for live, whatever budget you're on, I think it's really important at least twice a year to go and get a blood test, get a urine test, let them check you out, and anything that they find, they will put you on medicine rather than just waiting for it to happen. I told you the story about a guy I met in Pattaya. He had a bar in Khon Kaen, usual story. The girlfriend, stuck one on him basically, and he lost the bar. And but he was financially stable. He wasn't that bothered. And I met him on Soi Bacau in Pattaya. This is going back about a year now. No, it's longer than that. It's because when I first came out here, when I was living in a hotel for 2 months down there, utterly depressed. And he was a big guy called Colin. And he just called me, seen me going by on the scooter one day, and he invited me. And this was about 11 o'clock in the morning. He was drinking large changs. And he says, come and have a drink, Pete. Come and have a drink. And I said, well, I'll have a coffee. And he's a big guy, seriously big. And he was a very pleasant guy. And he told me his story about what happened with his Thai girlfriend or wife. And he opened this bar in Khon Kaen, and she'd stuck it to him like they do. And he'd lost the bar in his house and all sorts. But he was quite financially okay. And I was just watching, and he was putting back these beers, one after another, large changs. And I must have sat there till 2 o'clock. He bought me a nice lunch, so I thanked him for that. And I said to him after a while, I said, Colin, do you mind if I ask you a personal question? If I'm being too personal, just let me know and we'll change the subject. And he was like, go ahead, go for it. I won't get offended. So I said, see, when did you start drinking today? And he was like, well, 9 o'clock. I came here at 9 because he's staying in this hotel and they have this restaurant, right? So he said, I came here about 9 o'clock. And I'm like, 9:30 in the morning. And I'm like, oh, right, okay. So do you do this every day? Yeah. Well, why not? I'm here. And I said, well, how many have you had today of these? And he's like, I think it's number 7 now or something. And he wasn't drunk or anything. And I was like, Colin, do you not worry about your health? Drinking all day, every day. And he was like, yeah, he said, I woke up once and I was completely yellow. And, you know what that is, don't you? I mean, normally your liver's shot. And I thought once you go yellow, then that's you finished, right? Your liver's shot. And he said he went to the doctor and he got some kind of high vitamin tablets. And the doctor told him to stop drinking, which he wasn't. And then he suddenly disappeared off the scene. I was looking for him, actually, because he turned out to be a nice bloke. And I'd met him a couple of times. And he sat in the same... On LK Metro, you've got a hotel called the Nature View Hotel I used to stay in, opposite Soi 15. I think the hotel's called Suda. It's a white building. Okay, you walk in. It's got a kind of walkway to the older part. The reception's on the left, and there's a pretty decent restaurant on the right, but it's not encased in glass. And he used to sit there looking up and down LK Metro. And I used to see him. Sometimes I'd give him a wave when I went by on my scooter. I was there for 2 months, so I've seen him quite often. And then he suddenly wasn't there. And a few times I went back specially to see if I could see him at different times of the day. And he wasn't there. And I sometimes think, how sad it is if he actually did, if the alcohol got to him in the end. So, anyway, I've probably cheered you up this Sunday, haven't I? Let's move on to something a bit more less gloomy. Matthew, did I read that out? When I was in Pattaya, I always ask girls whether it's back to pre-COVID days, and everyone says it's not as busy as before. Well, the other reason for that as well is don't forget the purse strings have been tightened in the Western world, haven't they? All over the world. What's happened in Russia and Ukraine? Energy prices have gone through the roof. Flights have gone up. People lost their jobs. It's not an easy time. It's getting easier now. Flights are starting to come down in price again. But there's a lot of people who, they just can't afford to come out here as often if they can still afford to come out. So that's another nail in the coffin, as it were. But it's not all doom and gloom. Pattaya is a great place for a holiday. A lot of people still go out there. I could go down there tomorrow. I've got a car. I can drive down there tomorrow. I'm going to have a good time. So it's not, I don't want to sound all doom and gloom and depressed. We have seasons here like everywhere else. Okay, I've just read that. Okay. Zoom Will Brian. Kev, been going to the land for 25 years, mate. I've seen it all. I'm 55. Okay. Okay. And now there's an answer from Kev there. Mark. A bar in Soy 6 Pattaya is trying a 3K bar fine. I mean, the problem is some people pay it. They save up, they come out here. You imagine a guy who's saved up £5,000-6,000. He's coming out, he's been watching YouTube videos. He hasn't got a clue. He comes out, he meets this beautiful, beautiful girl in Soy 6. She only just started in the bar tonight. She doesn't go out with customers. She just gets drinks, and she doesn't really like doing it. And she hopes to meet the man of her dreams so she can stop working. But tonight she wants 3,000 baht. There are guys who'll pay it, and when there's people prepared to pay it, that's when they'll just keep. They'll keep doing it. I'll tell you a little story that's not related to bars or girls. Okay. I want to say if they keep paying it, they'll keep taking the piss, right? When people stand together and say, no, it's enough now, they'll stop. I used to sell cars for a while. When I was in the UK, I had a car lot. Okay, I had 30, 40 vehicles. The cars were only worth a couple of thousand, £2,000-3,000 max, right? Bangers, really. And I had my yard was inside. It was nothing fancy. It was inside a storage, a container place. They gave me a space. I rented off them there, gave me an office, and it was quite affordable. So what I used to do, I used to get my cars from Peterborough auctions in those days. I used to tow one back on. I'd buy maybe 7, 8 cars, 6 cars. I'd have a friend. We'd go over to Peterborough, I'd put one on an A-frame on my car. I'd tow that back. He'd drive the other one. That's 2. We'd go back to Peterborough. We get another 2. And if I had 8, we'd have 4 trips to Peterborough. And then they're all in the compound at night. Then I dealt with them the next week or next days coming up. Now, when I say about sticking together, I'll tell you a story. This is a true story. So I used to sometimes go to Bedford auctions, British car auctions. Okay, they're all over the UK. Okay, British car auctions. The one I used to go to the most was in Peterborough, but occasionally I'd go to the one in Bedford because they're on different days, and sometimes the cars were just really expensive. Okay, so in Bedford one day they brought out this rule, right, which nobody accepted. So what had happened? The cars would be lined up, and they're going through auctions. So you couldn't drive them, but what you could do, you could open them up, you could look inside, you can lift the bonnet, you could look in the engine, you could have it start up. When the guy starts up, if they're ready to roll it into the auction where they do the auction, right? So you could, when the driver started the car, it was very normal. He popped the bonnet, and everybody who's interested in that car, including me, would look inside, see if any knocks or rattles or anything like this. So one day they brought out a rule, and they said, right, no more looking in the bonnets anymore. British car auctions, they said, you can look round it, you can, but we're not opening the bonnets anymore. You can hear it, but you're not going to look. Everybody in that auction said, no, bollocks to that. There's no way, you're taking the piss now. And we all said, nobody bid. The car came through and everyone just stood there, and they didn't get a single bid. And they had to reverse it. Eventually they said, okay, you can look. And that's what I mean by in Soy 6, if they're charging 3,000 baht and everyone said, I ain't paying that, I'm going to go to LK Metro, then they'd say, shit, this isn't working, we're going to bring our prices down. Okay, but when guys go and say, yeah, okay, I'll pay it, then they'll just keep pushing it up until they, as far as they can get away with it. So nothing surprising there. Chris says 1,000 baht is too much. I don't know, Chris. You got to be they're not going to do nothing for nothing, are they? A nomad overseas. Most of the super hot ones discovered OnlyFans during lockdowns they're making in a day what they would have made in a month working in a bar. No chance they'll be coming back anytime soon. And you can't blame them, can you? You know, I mean, it's like, I'll use the roti lady as an example. You know, she's still making rotis, you know, the pancake things with the bananas in it. She was making them, and she was probably making a reasonable living, a few $100 a day, you know, and she was getting up early, pushing a cart, and that was her living, right? But she's suddenly gone big time on YouTube, and she's getting guys throwing hundreds of dollars and pounds at her, you know, and she's nearly 500,000 subscribers, so she's making good money on YouTube. She gets a lot of super chats because she's a good singer, she's doing well, and you know, it's happened for her, hasn't it? And it's happened for a lot of girls like that. So if a girl goes onto a website like OnlyFans, and instead of making 3,000 baht in a night and another 1,000 baht on drinks, and she's getting guys paying her in dollars rather than Thai baht, you know, they're going to do it. You can't blame them. What would you do if you were in her shoes? Mark, Pete, is your opinion, where are the most scenic and beautiful parts of Thailand? Liathon is one place I saw online that looks gorgeous and highly recommended. I'm quite biased, Mark, because I think the best places are ocean places, like islands, like the one just off Rayong, for instance, 3-hour drive from Bangkok, Koh Samet. Okay, I was there recently. Beautiful, beautiful. You stand in the sea, it's warm. You can see, it's like glass, right? So in answer to your question, I'm biased because I only like towns that are beach towns, you know, like Cha'am, Hua Hin, Rayong, those sort of places. There are a lot of beautiful places. You go up into the national park, the national forest, the Erawan National Park. They got the levels of the waterfall. You can swim in there. Absolutely beautiful. But for me personally, if you're asking me personally, anywhere that's an ocean, you know, I like being close to the ocean. Why I'm in Bangkok's another story. Andy Burton, good morning. Bit fresh here in the GB, no doubt. It's lovely weather over there. It's lovely, but it's hot. I'll be going out in the park later. How long have we been going now? 1 hour 21. Wow, time goes so fast. Nearly 300 in as well. I haven't eaten yet. I've got to eat. No, I had an egg sandwich earlier. Right. Okay, so Mark. Yeah, there's quite a lot of the people who are retired down there. There's a lot of kind of like Dutch, Swedish, what I call Nordic kind of people. Those countries, you know. There is English, German, all the rest of it, but there seems to be a lot of people from those kind of countries. Right. Kev, Peter, would you ever live in Isan? I could not live in Bangkok or Pattaya. I lived in Isan for 2 years. I opened a hotel up there. I won't go into it. I've said it many, many times before. It's not for me. It's cheap. You can live very, very cheaply on there. If you're on a tight budget and you meet a girl and she's from a village, you can live with her and you can live dirt cheap, but you've got to have something to do. Because the problem is, I've seen guys go up to Isan, to some piddly little village. Yeah, they're spending nothing. You know, they're eating. The girl goes to the market, buys all the local food. They cook it at home. And it's dirt cheap from the Thai markets. But the problem is alcoholism, because what happens, a lot of these guys go to these villages and a few weeks go by, there's nothing to do in the evenings. You know, they live rural hours. You know, when the Thais up there, when it gets dark, they go to bed. Sun up, they're up and they're doing whatever they want to do. So yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't want to live in Isan. I'm not putting it down. I'm not saying don't go for it, but it's just not for me. But you've got to be careful. You know, I'm not talking about a place like Chiang Rai or Khon Kaen. They're major cities. You know, they've got just as much as Bangkok near on. But those small places. Right, Stephen. I was in Phuket last week for 6 days. Very busy traffic from the airport to Patong Beach. Crazy. Grab a boat. Work okay in Phuket. Ladies' drinks 250 baht. Ouch. Bar fine 1,000, 1,500. Yeah, it's been notorious. Phuket's always been notorious for being very, very expensive. A lot of Russians there at the moment. A lot of Russians, and some of them opening up businesses. Simon Yee. The rest of the YouTubers all gone to. I don't know what that says. All gone to Prachup KK. I don't know. Am I missing something? What is that? I've never heard of it. And who is the rest of them? Who's gone there? Oh, it's a person, is it? Okay, no, it's a place. All right, I don't know. I've never heard of it. There's for my ignorance. Dutch Frank, ladies from LON. Doug M. I'm in Saigon, and the same applies. I'm in Saigon. The same applies in the hostess bars here. Asian guys with fat wallets get all the bar girls action. You can't blame them, can you? It's like in Therme, you know, the Korean guys and the Japanese guys in Therme. they don't ask them how much. They just say, let's go, you know, and the girls don't demand anything because they know they're going to get paid well. Simon Yee, good evening all. How you doing? Dutch Frank, ladies from Khon Kaen have a big jaw. I never noticed that when I was there. Stephen James, getting in with the ladies, yeah, it's kind of my thing. Simon Yee, is there a law of no smoking in aircon places? Yeah, Thailand's strict. You can't. I mean, they do smoke in some of the bars and stuff. I hate it being a non-smoker. A lot of the bars in places like Pattaya, they're open. You can smoke. I believe some go-go bars, and they do bend the rules. They're not supposed to. I mentioned one bar in Cowboy where they smoke on the upper level. But generally speaking, you can't smoke in air-conditioned restaurants now, which is, I think, is a good thing. Okay, will you hook up with Johnny or Jira for a collaboration video? I don't know who Jira is. I know who Johnny is, and I've been in a bar standing about 3 feet away from him, and I didn't know who he was at the time. I've watched some of his videos. Very lively character, does some good YouTube videos. He's based in Hua Hin, got a pretty wife. The other person you mentioned there, I've never heard of them. But yeah, I mean, Johnny was supposed to, when I was doing my channel with Simon about 2 years ago, Johnny was supposed to be a guest, and we were going to do an interview with him, and he'd been out all night on the beer, and he was just pissed. And he said, sorry guys, he said, I don't want to come on like this. And we're like, yeah, fair enough, next time. But it just never happened. Patrick, hey Peter, my Thai girlfriend who works in Lady Love sent me this message. Darling, I don't have any money, just sent it to my family and pay for the room. Can you help me? What you think? Laugh out loud. Do you really want me to answer that? Very amusing there. David, I stayed in Bangkok on my way back from Australia 5 years ago and didn't fully appreciate it at the time, but it led to me watching your videos and have seen almost every live stream since. Oh, that's good, David. I thought you'd have been bored of me by now. I get a lot of shit sometimes. Mark Glover, One-stop visa sorted my Thai bank account. A recommendation from your channel. They were brilliant. They are. I mean, I used to recommend somebody else and I went right off them. I don't want to say here because of the libelous laws. It was something personal, and I thought to myself, I'm not going back there. Somebody recommended Mark and Pom in Soy 6, one-stop visa. I went down there. I've seen Mark dealing with other customers, and I was sitting waiting for something. People come in. He addresses them by sir. His wife, took me up to the bank early in the morning. Great service, fantastic service. If you need a driving license or you need a long-term retirement visa, something like that. And don't get me wrong, you're not buying visas, you're not buying driving licenses. What you're doing with an agent is you're facilitating a service. So rather than queuing up in immigration, going through Thai red tape and try paperwork, you go there, you pay a fee, they'll do everything for you. In fact, I'm using them at the moment because when I bought my car, it's so hard to change the name of a vehicle here into your name. So when I bought my car, it was in the company. It was a company car. I bought it off Simon, but it was in their company name. Well, when I bought it off and we didn't bother changing the name, I just got a receipt to say I paid for the car. It belongs to me, but for administration purposes, we're keeping it in the company name. And I thought it was about time I changed it into my name and my scooter, because his scooter is in his son's name, because again, it was easy. And you wouldn't believe what you have to do. So I had to go down there. She's got a driver. The driver took the car to a government place. They checked the VIN number in the engine, stamped the logbook. Okay, then it comes back. And then we had to get the company paperwork from Simon's company, signed by the director, updated from the equivalent to Company's House here. All that paperwork had to go down to Pattaya, okay, to POM. And then I needed a residence certificate for both the scooter and the car. And what else did we need? And now it's gone to another government office, and I then have to get Chonburi plates, because at the moment the vehicles have got Bangkok plates on them, and I have to change them now to Chonburi plates. It's a long story. I don't want to get into that side of it, the plates and the addresses and everything. But they're doing all that for me. It's not cheap, but it's a bloody nightmare. I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. So I do highly recommend Mark and Pom one-stop visa in Soy 6. And like you said there, that's that just basically says the same as I've been saying. Okay. Okay, Thailand in a circle. I love living in Hua Hin. I've been going on about Hua Hin for years. I've said it's a great place to live. It's not it's not like Pattaya in your face, right? There are a couple of streets of those kind of bars. You're not going to find the A team down there, that's for sure. Maybe not even the B team. But a lot of people living in Hua Hin, they're not living there for that. They'll live in Pattaya, right, if that's their thing. But, you know, they got a couple of decent malls. They've got a lot of restaurants. It's a nice, clean town. It's safe. The police pretty much, they don't let any kind of mafia types move in there because there's a royal palace there. And, yeah, I think it's a good place to live. But it wouldn't, but then I'm a dinosaur. It wouldn't suit everybody, would it? Okay, Kev says, my wife really dislikes Bangkok, and when she has to visit, she's always happy to get back to Isan. Okay, that's understandable. Matthew, Thai tourist board should pay you. I reckon a lot of people like me came to Bangkok thanks to your channel. They told me off once, the Thailand tourist board, in a polite way. So when I was in the UK, I'll just leave that up there. So you know the the Thai Authority of Thailand, the tourist board, basically. So they're not just based in Thailand. They've got an office in London. They've probably got an office in New York, wherever. They're all around the world. And I made a video one day, and in the backdrop, I thought it was I found a nice picture, and it was a TAT official picture. And let me just say thank you very, very quickly to Chris Christopherson, DKK. You give me a super chat there. First one today. Thank you very much, Chris. Not an hour and a half, but thank you. And so basically what happened is they, let me get back to that. Where were we? So I used a picture, but it was their official picture of their funny wallpaper. And anyway, I put the video up and I didn't think nothing of it. And they wrote to me. They actually wrote to me, the Thai Authority of Thailand, the tourist TAT. And they basically said, look, do you mind? They were nice about it. They said, look, do you mind removing that picture? Because that's our official picture for us. It's our official logo. And we don't want people to think that your channel is representing us. Not much of a compliment, I know. And they said, look, if you send us your address, we'll send you a couple of T-shirts or something, or key rings or something. And I'm not going to mess about. I just wrote back, and this was when I was in England. I just wrote back and said, oh yeah, sorry, no worries about that. And I removed it, and that was the end of the story. But I didn't send them my address. You never know. Okay, Thailand inner circle. Jira is a real estate chick. Hua Hin. Never. Well, okay, don't know her. It wouldn't really interest me, real estate. So that's probably why I don't know her. God, it's getting hotter. Turn that down a bit. Okay. Ken, I can't really answer that here. Ask me that again in the members stream next week, okay? And I'll get straight into that. Geostone, amazing stream. Oh, really? Thank you. Amazing. Nils, yes, Mrs. Jira is a real estate agent and former nurse in Hua Hin, very popular, was married to a German guy before. Okay, may I'll take a look after this maybe. Right, Jason, how are you doing? Geezers, hi, Peter and the crew. Big shout out from Sapan Mai. So Jason, you'll see him in the video that we did on the 78th floor of the Mahakan Skywalk. I got it now. Mahakan Skywalk. I couldn't remember earlier. Jason, no problem. Straight out like there like a madman. I thought he was going to jump up and down on the glass to see if it was strong enough to take me. Ryan says Hua Hin looks good and chilled. It is very chilled, very chilled. You don't get the idiots down there. You know, like you go down Walking Street and there's fights, isn't there? And people are drinking and vomiting in the street, and you know it can be horrible sometimes. It's not like that in Hua Hin. Rio, a lot of people talking about Hua Hin now, is a wonderful place. You have a busy side and a quiet side, great place to live. And the prices are really, really cheap. Like I said, you can get an apartment like I've got here. I'm paying 20,000, and this is cheap for Bangkok. You can get for 8,000, 10,000 down there. Right, I'll read that out. I need to have some bloke taken care of. Can I get that dude help me out? Okay, maybe. Right, Jason. I'm a smoker, but would never light up in a restaurant. And when in a bar in Thailand, I always sit outside towards the road for others' comforts. Well, that's very considerate of you, Jason. But, you know, I've always said I'll never be a reformed smoker. I used to smoke 40 to 50 packs, cigarettes, not packs, I'd be dead. I used to smoke around 40 cigarettes a day. I started when I was 15 at school. Obviously, I wasn't on 40 when I started, maybe 2 or 3 a day. I used to pinch them from my mum's. She used to smoke Embassy number 1. Do you remember them? So 1975 it was. And I used to pinch them. My brother smoked Embassy, not Embassy, number 6. Do you remember number 6? Greenish packet. I used to sneak one out of his and one out of my mother's. And that was it. I smoked all my life, you know, always smoked. And I'll tell you what made me stop smoking is when the vape came out, okay? And I went onto the vape, and it was all right. I got the hit from the nicotine, and then I was on a beach in, funny enough, in Hua Hin. I was sitting there one night on a quiet part of the beach, and I had my vape with me. And I looked up, and there was a huge sign, and it said, "Vaping not permitted in Thailand. Penalty, 20,000 baht fine or 2 years in jail." And I thought, screw that. You know, the 20,000 baht would be ouch, but I'm not going in any Thai jail, that's for sure. You know, you hear stories about it, Bangkok Hilton and all that. And that was it. I just knocked it on the head, and I'm glad. And I don't, you know, if people smoke, that's up to them. Like I said, I'm not going to be a reformed smoker. You know, if you want to smoke, it's up to you. But it is kind of, if you're a non-smoker and you're in a restaurant or you're sitting in an outdoor area, like yesterday, we went to eat and we'd ordered our food, and this table's literally here. And the guy lit up a cigarette and it's coming in my face and I'm about to eat, you know. So, yeah, I mean, fair play to you. If you really do that, that's really good. Yeah, I think you know what I mean by that. When I say you won't find the A or the B team, let's put it another way. You won't find the 10s and 9s. You'll be lucky to find the 3s and 4s, but we'll see. Right, Simon Yee. Hua Hin is easier to go now with the new train service, faster to reach. Sorry, I'm a pro Hua Hin. No, that's a good point. One thing I used to hate about going to Hua Hin, I mean, I've done it on the bus. On the bus, it's 4 hours, and it costs, from memory, I think it was 270 baht one way, and you take the bus back from Blueport. That's a mile. But yeah, it's a good point, because it's, you know, it used to be a 4-hour drive or a 4-hour bus drive. Some people say, "Oh, I did it in 3 hours." I don't believe it. It's not possible to do it in 3 hours. And the train, believe it or not, was actually slower than the road. The train was 5 hours to get down there. And they've opened up the new trains now, and I believe it's about 3 hours. I know somebody who lives down there, and they've taken the train. I should do it one day. Maybe I'll do a video with Marley. I haven't done a video with Marley for a while. That's quite a good idea. We could go down to Hua Hin, take the train down in the morning, come back in the... That'd be a great video, wouldn't it? Take the train down to Hua Hin in the morning, early, have lunch in a good restaurant, video of that, and come back on the train in the evening. Yeah, I'll talk to Marley about it. Right, Dutch Rang, did the ferry from Pattaya to Hua Hin returned? They were talking about bringing it back online once a week. So if you can imagine, the Gulf of Thailand is like a horseshoe, okay? Pattaya's on one side, Hua Hin's on the other side, and they used to have a boat go across, 1,200, 1,400 baht, and it went out of business during COVID, and they were talking about bringing it back online again, but as far as I know, they haven't yet. Dick's Normis, not yet, Dutch. Okay. Wiggler. Okay. Bottle Baby, haven't seen you in the stream for a while. Good to have you in. Don't mention the Hua Hin and cheapness in the same sentence. Okay, you don't want it overrun with mad tourists. Okay. Okay, Jason Reed says, I smoke 40 to 50 a day here in Australia, pack of 20, $35. Thailand 2 pack. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't the price of it? When I was in the UK, I actually went on to rolling my own. You know, when you first start, it's like you roll them so tight, it's like you can't get a drag out of it, you know, a puff. But okay, so let me put this one up. I get some strange messages here. Here's 100 baht towards your lunch. Horseshit, cigarettes was my brand. No joke. Google it. Okay, fair enough. Ethno Dreams. Cheeky Peter, times 40. You've done well to quit. Do you remember Chesterfield and Senior Service? I can remember them all. I can remember most of the cigarettes. I remember, memory lane now, I remember I had a paper round in England when I was a young boy. I must have been about 12. And I remember in the newsagents, they used to have loose cigarettes on the counter, and you could buy one cigarette, you know. And I also remember my mother would send me to a garage on a Sunday afternoon when she run out of cigarettes, because there were no issues about kids buying cigarettes back then. She'd write a little note. She'd say, could you give my son 10 Embassy Regal or whatever? Because all the shops were closed on a Sunday afternoon, but the garages were open, and they had little shops that sold alcohol and not alcohol, sorry, cigarettes and crisps and, you know, snacks and what have you. And I remember going to these garages with a note. I mean, I must have been like 11 years, 12 years old, and giving it to the guy, and he just gives me the cigarettes, and away you go. You know how much it's changed now. You know, Park Drive, they were the strong ones. Capstan full strength, you know, cigarettes. Wow. My nan used to smoke number 6. And what I noticed, let's just finish this on the cigarettes and we'll move on, okay? Not really a Thailand-bound subject, is it? But so cigarettes, what I noticed in the 70s, late 70s, when I first started smoking, 75, 76, they're all about that size, number 6 and Embassy and all this. And then they started getting longer and longer. You know, they had king size. Remember Peter Stuyvesant? at the cinema. They always advertise Peter Stuyvesant. Right. Okay. Simon Years, starting smoking at 16. I'm now 50. Now mixing e-cigarette and ciggies, but no vape, no kick. Do you know what? The vape did it for me, but I'm glad I gave it up because I got a bit scared because, you know, there's some bad things coming out of the vapes now. People used to say, oh, the vape's really safe, isn't it? But, you know, they're discovering more and more about the oils seeping into your lungs and stuff. Terrible. Toby says 9s and 10s go to Hua Hin to retire. Hi, Wes. How you doing? Unusual to see you in a live stream, but I guess it's the Australian thing. Been going for an hour and 40 now, so we'll give it another 15, 20 minutes. But good to be able to say hello to you and your lovely lady there. Simon Yee, those PPL who smoke in restaurants, I will tell them off. So inconsiderable. Imagine being around kids. Yeah, I haven't been brave enough to do that yet. I did give a guy, when I used to smoke in Thailand, I remember on soy, same soy as a beer garden, the German beer garden. I think it's soy. Is it soy 5 or soy 7? I can't remember. But there used to be on the right, a very good food court, actually. It had lots of small windows. There were small restaurants sectioned off into one big food area. And I remember one time I got up because I was going to smoke and it was quite busy. So I thought, well, I'll get up and I'll stand on the edge. And there was some kind of bodybuilder guy there who looked like he kind of loved himself, looked in the mirror all day at himself, telling himself how gorgeous he was. He was one of them types, you know. And he just gave me the dagger look because I had this cigarette in my hand, you know. Other than that, I haven't had any problems. Tony, I've just read that, have I? Started at 14, smoked for 20 years, have been off for 6 for 20 years, and I'm still proud not to smoke. The one thing that was surprising, people used to say to me, "Oh, when you smoke, you'll save loads of money. You'll see you'll always have money in your pocket." You don't notice it. I don't know why. You know, I was in the UK. I was probably smoking before I gave up. I was probably spending, I don't know, 12, 15 pounds a day on tobacco. You times that over 30 days. But when I gave up, I didn't notice any difference, not money wise, anyway. To me, to you, people keep banging on about the new train line to Hua Hin. On average, it's 30 to 40 minutes quicker. What's the big deal about that? No idea. Right. Well, no, I don't know if you're quite correct there, because I know for a fact that the old train used to be about 5 hours. It was like a milk run train. And everybody I spoke to who's been on the train said it's literally about 3.5 hours. I don't know if they've got different, if they've got trains that stop at a lot of stations and other express trains. I don't know because I've never done it. But most of the people who have done it, who have spoke to me, said 3.5 hours. So I'm just going on what they've told me. Diamonds, what's that? Diamonds and Russ 68, is it? Spot on about expensive Bangkok. Rumors in soy 8 ladies drink 250 baht. I'll tell you a story about that place. One guy blew up at the bill. Visiting Khon Kaen, same drink, 130 baht. I've noticed the ladies have big jaws here. Who said that? Okay, well, I'm not going to mention any restaurants, any bars myself, okay? But on the screen there. So I went to this particular place. When I first moved to Bangkok, I was walking past there in the afternoon and it was really hot like this. And I thought, you know what? I'll have a soda manal. That's a kind of lime drink, you know, just lime, Schweppes. It doesn't matter anyway. I went in for a soft drink because it was totally empty. It was about 1, 2 in the afternoon. I was walking down the soy and there was one girl in there cleaning up. And I kind of thought, poor thing, she must have slept in the bar. And I wasn't up to any monkey business or anything. So I went in there and I ordered my drink and she brought it over and I kind of felt a bit sorry for her. And I said, do you want a drink? And she's like, yeah, I have one. And I didn't ask the price. Okay. So she went off and she come back with some BS drink, you know, I don't know what it was, probably orange or fake orange or something. And she put the bill in my pot and it was, I think it was 290 baht. Okay. So my soft drink was 90 baht. And this is when nobody's in the bar, right? My soft drink was 90 baht and her soft drink was 200 baht. And I said to the guy, I said, what's this? I said, you've virtually got the same drink. I got a soft drink. You got a soft drink. Yours is 200, mine's 90. And I said, I'm not paying for that. You know, I thought, no, you know, when I said enough is enough, you know, if you keep paying it, they'll never stop, right? And this was when they were 200. I didn't realize they'd gone up to 250. And I said, I'm not paying. She says, well, it's not my fault. You know, they get 100. The bar only gets 100 baht and I get 100 baht. And I said, look, I'm really sorry, but here's 100 baht for my drink. I says, and that's it. And I left. I never heard anything since. And it just gets to the point where you think they're just taking the piss now. You know, I mean, it's just too much. And I rarely go in that place now. Rarely go in. Tom, they have good music in there, and they have a few girls in it. It's a nice bar, you know, but who's going to go in and pay 250 baht for a ladies' drink? It's ridiculous. Tom Orberton, Bangkok to Hua Hin last month in a cab, 2,000 baht, 3 hours. Okay. Yeah. Whereabouts in Bangkok were you, though? I've never done it in 3 hours ever, and I drive, and I've done it in taxis. I've done 3.5 hours once, but not 3 hours. Ethanol, I'm talking from Sukhumvit. I'm not talking from like the edge of town, somewhere like Bangwa, Bangna. I'm going to move away from the smoking now. Okay, so Chris says the new train line to Hua Hin is not fully open yet. Eventually will be 90 minutes from Bangkok. That's a bit better, isn't it? 90 minutes. They've got a new station in Hua Hin now. And what they've done, because the old railway station is quite famous. It's almost like a protected building. It's been in quite a few movies like The Railway Man and stuff like that, because it's very old and very classical look to it. And it's been in several movies. And they've built a new high-speed train. They've got a new high-speed train line that comes all the way from China down to Malaysia, which will bring thousands of Chinese into Thailand, which I'm sure you're happy about. And but they've built this massive station. But what they've done, they've kind of modeled it on the old station, the colors and the shape and everything. It looks quite nice, actually, but it's about 8 times the size. So I'll just mention this last one. Simon says, my friends who vape mainly got wet lungs. Okay, that doesn't sound very fun to have. Where's what you're saying now? I remember my old next door neighbor used to smoke Camels. They were strong. Every time I'd go to Hawaii, I'd bring him back a carton of 10. Oh, he's very lucky you did that for him. Very nice of you. Bottle Baby quit smoking some time ago after I started, I think was 8 years old. Okay, that's really young. I can't get away from the cigarette subject now, can I? So I might as well go on for a while. Dutch Frank 13 and 3/4. Peter, does Marley still smoke with you? She doesn't smoke. Marley doesn't smoke at all. I've never seen her have a cigarette ever. Tonto, when smoking stopping inside bars? Thailand in a circle. Train to Hua Hin, there is an express train, lots of new track to go with the new station. So this, not to be confused with the high-speed, high-rail link, which, like I say, is coming from China all the way through Thailand down to Malaysia. Anthony, tried smoking when I was at school. Took me a few cigarettes to make my mind up, never to smoke. Not had one since. That was 40 years ago. Okay, good. Save a lot of money as well. Exactly. That's why I'm trying to get away from it. Is this a smoking fetish group? It's not, but we tend to speak about whatever comes up. Wes, I thought the live stream wasn't till 9 p.m. Thai time, 1 a.m. Melbourne time. No, I've cut back on the streams now since I'm living here. I'm trying to put out more videos rather than... I felt the live streams were getting a bit monotonous in the evenings. So I cut it down from every Sunday to every other Sunday for the publicized streams. I do one at 9 p.m. till about 9:30 for everybody, and then 9:45 till about midnight. Sorry, 10:45 to 11 till midnight for members. There's a member stream, and so every other Sunday I don't have the stream, but every now and again I'll do a Sunday afternoon stream like this. I don't announce it, I don't publicize it, I don't put a green screen up. There's no time limits or anything like that, and I just flick go live, and here we are. And you know, I've had 300 people, and it's gone down a little bit now. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy these kind of casual streams, and if people enjoy them, and I'm happy to do them. Dutch Frank, I said ladies from Konkan have big jaws. That's what I read. Line of Judah, how much have the price rise this year mean for all girls, food, hotels, etc.? There's still a lot of cheap things in Thailand. Like taxis, if they put the meters on, are still cheap. The BTS, the MRT, you can still eat very, very cheaply. If you're not eating foreign food, that is. As far as the girls go, it's gone through the roof. It's gone absolutely through the roof. Ladies' drinks, 200, 250 baht. Bar fines, 800, up to 1,500. Women asking for 3,000, 4,000. Even freelancers on Sukhumvit Road who are like right at the bottom of the pile. They're asking 2,000, 3,000. It's really increased. I suppose a lot of it's got to do with more people are visiting Thailand as well. Don't forget, 30 years ago, it wasn't on the internet. When I first stepped onto Thai soil in 1991, there was no internet. I can remember when the internet started. I remember the girls from Nana all going to an internet cafe and getting the translator in there to write emails to their foreign boyfriends or sponsors or whatever. You know, they never had phones. They never had internet back then. And now it's all over the internet. That's why there's a lot more younger people here now, because it was mainly business people or expats who lived out here. But because it's all over the internet now, you'll get a bunch of young guys, say in the UK, what's the best they can look forward to? A few pints in the local boozer and a greasy kebab and probably some abuse from somebody on the way home. So what do? They say, sod that, we'll work overtime, we'll put a lot of money away, we'll go to Pattaya twice a year and we'll have a great time. And who can blame them? I mean, I'd do the same if I was their age. Tony, no, I didn't work in any hotels in Europe, in Germany rather. The only hotels I worked in Europe was in Buda, in Norway rather, and then I went off to the Middle East. I was in the Middle East for 3 years, and then the Far East. Thailand in a circle. A barring cowboy who will remain nameless, so thank you for that, is requiring 2 ladies' drinks to come in at 250 each or 500 to look at the oldest woman on the soil. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I told you that little story about I went into a bar with Simon, my friend, and I absolutely wasn't interested in having a lady come and sit with me. I was on my way home and somebody said, come on, we're going to have one more in this bar, and it was empty, so they're obviously scamming everybody. And we sat down and Simon said, well, if you had to have one, which one would you take? If I had to have one. And I just looked around and I said, well, she's okay. And he called her down. I said, oh, why did you do that? So this girl comes down, I'm obliged to get her a drink. I got her a drink, and I no intentions. I was going to have the drink. That's it. Okay, go home. And the bill comes, and I only had 1 drink, and there were 3 drinks on there. And I said, well, hang on a minute. There's 2 ladies' drinks and my drink. She's just sat down. And they said, yeah, but you have to pay a lady's drink to bring her off the stage. And I told Simon, who speaks fluent Thai, and he went mad at the Mama-san. He's like, no way, we're not paying this. Send her back, whatever. Take it off the bill. And I sat quietly listening. In the end, they tried to, I've told this story before, so I'll just tell it quickly. They tried to play on the emotions. And so what the Mama-san said to me, she said, oh, okay, then we'll take it off your bill, but the girl will have to pay it. Because they're hoping, most guys will be like, white knights, they'll be like, oh, no, I don't want, she doesn't earn any money. Okay, I'll pay it, no problem. And I just said, because she wouldn't pay it. They just say that to you, right? I just said to the Mama-san, I just said, well, fine, as long as I'm not paying it, because I didn't order it. I says, send her back, sort of thing. And they took it off the bill, which they probably looked at as like a couple of cheap Charlies, but I don't care. I don't like being ripped off. Simon says, girly bars are taking men for a ride in Thailand. No wonder many are avoiding them. Better to approach a freelancer. But the problem with freelancers, they're not always, how can I say it without sounding derogatory? They're not, what I'm trying to say without saying it. JM, looking healthy, Peter. What are you doing fitness health-wise? Okay, I'm not really doing, I need to do more. And it's funny you should say this because I've been thinking about this for a long time. But what am I doing differently from the UK? So I go out, I try to exercise every day. So about 6, I'll go to a local park and I'll just walk for an hour. Okay. But it's a nice way to get out the apartment. And I try not to eat at night. I used to have a bad habit when I first got this apartment. I'd drink beer. It'd get to 11:30 midnight. I'm watching something good on TV. I hadn't had dinner since 6 o'clock. I was hungry. I've got a kitchen full of food, and I'd make myself a cheese onion toasty, or I'd make myself, or I'd get a few bags of some instant pot noodles. I'd eat something, some chocolate biscuits. And then what do? As soon as you've eaten, you feel tired and you go to bed and you're sleeping on a full stomach. And I did that every night for months and months and months. And I did put on weight. And I've knocked that on the head now. So I've reduced drinking beer a lot. I used to drink when I first came here, because in the UK, when I was drinking, my wife would be like, you're not drinking again, are you? Every night, you're not drinking again, are you? How many have you had now? And you think, for God's sake. So when I came here, I'm in this apartment, nobody's nagging me, 7-Eleven's right across the road. I had a fridge full of beer, a little bit of whiskey and everything. And I'd sit there in front of Netflix. I didn't have to hide anything and, crack open a couple of cans. And the fact is, I enjoyed it because I had nobody on my back. I was in my nice apartment, nobody to tell me what to do. And I got into this habit of just drinking and eating. And I've kind of solved that now. So I don't eat at night anymore. Even if I'm starving, I just say, nope, you have a good breakfast instead. And that's what I do. Because when I used to eat at night, I didn't eat in the morning because I felt so full. But what happens now, I get really hungry at night and I think, no, you're going to have a nice breakfast. And I'll wake up and I'll have some scrambled egg or something. And I've cut down the beer a lot. I used to drink like 4 or 5 cans of Chang or Lee or something. I drink, what is it? The bottle beer, the 100 calories. God, I forgot what it's called. You know what I drink, right? Somebody will remind me. Oh, God, what's it? My memory's getting really bad, So that's that. So I've started to exercise every day lightly. I don't pump weights or anything like that. San Miguel Light, that's what it is. San Miguel Light. It's called light because it's got less calories. It's not because it's less alcoholic. So I drink probably 2 San Miguels, which are just small bottles, and I don't eat at night. And I try to exercise every day. And but I want to start to try to eat better, because what I've been doing, I eat a lot of food. Like I'll go down to the Sportsman on 13 or the Red Lion, or I'll go to the pizza factory on Soy 3, or I'll go Terminal 21 and eat shit, like food that's not good for me. So I've got to, now I've reduced my intake, I now need to change it over and start eating salads and less carbohydrates. And this is what you've got to do if you want to stay healthy for longer, isn't it? But thank you. It's nice to have a compliment. Be happy, Pat. How you doing? A bit late in, but better late than never, as they say. Hello, everyone. I missed this one so early on a Sunday for me. I guess I'll see this on replay. Right? Okay. Just an ad hoc stream, Pat. It wasn't planned. I just pressed go live and away we go. Right. Sally Mangoes, is it? Looking to quit smoking, read books, but Alan Carr. There's, what? I don't want to sound like preach about smoking, but honestly, there's only one way to do it. You look in the mirror and you just say to yourself, it will kill me or I give up. And just say to yourself, that's it. Throw everything out. The next morning, when you wake up, the first 3 days is absolute hell. Honestly, it's absolute hell. I was sitting on a beach in Dubai and I thought, there's no point in living. This is awful, of course, but you get, after 3 days, it doesn't get like go away, but it gets a lot easier. Just get through them first 3 days. Wiggler, what's wrong with having a fetish? No, nothing at all. Who said there's something wrong with it? Simon Yee, great ad hoc stream. Then you will know how many set your YouTube on full notification. Okay. Scott G, prices, let's get Scott in there. Prices have really shot up over the past 10 to 15 years in Thailand. See, Scott, I don't think they have really 10 to 15 years, because that's a reasonable time for them to increase. I think since COVID, pre-COVID, I was here and I came in, once COVID started to, when they let us come back in. Do you remember the Thailand pass and the bloody masks and coming through Sawana porn, and they took me straight to the hospital and stuffed something up my nose? Bloody awful. I can't believe I did it. Anyway, since COVID, I think prices have gone up since COVID. I really do. Okay, so you're saying next Mother's Day and lots of sporting events on, so numbers will be low. It's strange you should say that, because I used to be paranoid about it, because when I'm on, it's the afternoon, a Sunday afternoon in the UK, and there's always some football match on, or a rugby tournament, or a horse racing event. And I always thought, well, it'll be rubbish because they'll all be watching it. And my numbers are okay. I might, on a very important football game, a finals, I might be 20% down. Instead of having 300 in, I might have 280 in, or 250, I might have 230. But I never have a stream and get sort of 10 people in it. Right. Oh, we're almost there, guys. It goes so quick, the time. I can't believe it's 4:30 in the afternoon here. 2 hours. Let's make it the 2 hours. I'll go in a few more minutes. Right. Simon Yee says, many A and B girls come to Malaysia. I'm going to rush through these now. I once read a Reader's Digest quip at the bottom of the page. The house was built from money saved from not smoking. Okay, that's from Sue. Fair enough. Zoom Wheels Bride. People keep saying Thailand is expensive now. I first came to Thailand 2000. Yes, it is, but still cheap compared to the UK. Yes. Some things are just as expensive the UK. You try and buy a block of cheese in Thailand and you tell me if it's as cheap as more expensive. No, it's more expensive here, cheese, than in the UK. What did I buy the other day? Daddy sauce, brown sauce if you're English, HP sauce, 200 baht in Big C here. That's about £4 or £5. I'm sure it doesn't cost that in the UK, right? They're talking about the girls. You're saying that many of them are making 100,000 plus easy a month, and more, honestly. Simon Yee, many Thai and Vietnamese girls in the bars, place and staying in KL, Malaysia, yeah. Wes, we haven't made a plan for Thailand. Mrs. is waiting for the cheap Jetstar flights to come out. Okay. How you doing? AOR. Craig Mitchum, get the pool most days, Peter. You will get much fitter. I used to use the pool every single day, and I suddenly stopped when I got my cold. So yeah, you're right. It's good. When you're in the park, have a good sweat on, and then you've got a shower up there. Just rinse yourself off, and then into the pool. It's a fantastic pool up there. Fantastic. Ethanol Dreams, apple cider vinegar and Constitution bitters in between meals, Peter. That'll see you more. I'll tell you something about apple cider vinegar, okay? So one thing I do every morning religiously, and I've been doing it for about a year now, I take 2 limes like that, I cut them in half, and I've got a juice squeezer. I squeeze that into a small glass, okay? And then I top that up with water, and I put in a protein drink. It's like a powder. Mix that in, and I have that every morning, okay? Because lime is very, very good for vitamins. And you can't drink it straight because it's so citric, you know? And I tried apple cider vinegar because every doctor and everybody said, oh, you know, apple cider. I just couldn't handle it, the taste. I tried mixing it with the orange powder stuff, and it just didn't work for me. I ended up buying 2 bottles and throwing 2 bottles away. But I'm on the limes for sure. Right. Thank you, Wiggler. Very generous. It's getting hot. Have a cold one. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And we're getting close to the mark, as it were. Okay. Scott G, San Miguel Light. Yeah, I did remember in the end. I know I'm getting old, but I think the old memory's gone. My mother suffered from dementia. It kind of scares me a little bit. Okay, you saying San Miguel Zero has half the calories at 3%? I don't think it has. Wait there. Right. If I'm wrong, I will put my hand up. So there we have it. The product. Let's have a look. I don't know if it will say it in English, actually. No, sorry, you're wrong. It's 5%. Look, I don't know if you can see it, but look above my finger. You probably can't catch it, right? 5%. So that's in Thailand. It is 5%. Because if it was 3%, I would stop drinking it. Believe me. Now that's got to go back in the fridge. I mean, come on, let's be honest. 3%, that's a breakfast beer, that is. You brush your teeth with 3%. Okay. Someone else saying this now. 3% is so light, what's the point? Exactly, but it's not 3%, it's 5%. It's on the bottle. Right, you're saying a couple of my friends drink it here so they don't get trashed too quickly. Imported. I don't know why people think it's 3%. I've just showed you it's 5%. That's fairly strong. The strong one used to be Chang. When I first came out here, Chang was like 8.5%. Now it's normal. I think it's 4.9%. But I used to avoid Chang because one large bottle of Chang, I was pissed. I was absolutely out of it, you know. But it's okay now. I drink it sometimes. Anthony, do you have a gym at the apartment? I do, but the problem with the gym here is very hard to get motivated because one, it's small. They've got a few bits of good machines. They've got a couple of good running machines and what have you. But because it's hardly used, you go in there, you've got to wait half an hour for it to cool down. You know, you put the air conditioner on, so it's hot when you go in there. You're on your own most of the time. So it's not like the environment of a gym where you see everybody working out. And you see everybody working out and you're motivated and you're, you know, I'm doing this as well. You know, you're there on your own. So I don't tend to use it. And I'm not a gym person anyway. And people say to me, when I use a pool, I do about half an hour of laps, you know, nothing too fast. I'm not, I do 12, 15 laps because it's a real long pool. People say, oh, you should build it up, put 2 more on. I don't do it. And I'll tell you why, because for me to go to the pool and do half an hour straight, I enjoy it. Half an hour goes quick. Once you start doing, I'll do 15 tonight, I'll do 16, I'll do 20, I'll do 30. What happens? You end up in your apartment and think, God, I've got to go up there and do 150 lengths, which are going to take me 2 hours. And you just give up. So for me, 20 minutes, half an hour in the pool is enough. You're still there, Franco? Still there on the beach? Yeah, I mean, you're saying, look, well, if less calories, there's a reason for it. It's not just magic. Well, they've obviously brewing it in such a way where they managed to bring the calories down without affecting the alcohol content. It's obviously working, isn't it? Because they can't put 5% on the bottle if it's 3%. Liam Stevens, well, if less calories, I've just read that. Wes, we've just started apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon in a glass every morning. Can't handle the taste. Can't handle it. Tried it once. Okay, diamonds and rust 68. We're nearly there. Apple cider vinegar, unfiltered, 1 tablespoon in a glass, and a bottle of soda water, slice of lime, and some pink salt. SM0 is different from SM light. Okay. Oh, there's an SM0, is there? Okay, so maybe it's the. I'll just put that there. So maybe the SM0 is a 3% one. Okay, but I'm drinking the San Miguel Light, which is about 100 calories and 5%. Let's move away from that now. Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. I mean, if I drink 4 or 5 San Miguels, they're only little bottles, 4 or 5, I'm starting to get a buzz on, you know, just as much as any other beer. Okay. Whitaker, I just love this name. Whitaker Winstanley III. I drink 3.5% beers Sunday night so I can get up for work 5 a.m. on Monday. Yeah, the problem is, though, you know, there's people in the UK who've been drinking in the evening and they're not really paralytic. They just have a few drinks, but they wake up for work at 5, 6. They go out in the car. Somebody hits them from behind. The police automatically now give them a breathalyzer and they're found over the limit and they get done for drink driving. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I've been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's been a good stream. Thanks, everybody, for joining me today. I have enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. Thanks to Chris and Franco down there in Pattaya for, let me just take that off there, for moderating. Thank you for the super chats that come in. Very generous of you guys. And I'll be back normal time next Sunday. That'll be, as I said earlier, for the normal stream, Thai time this is. It's going to be 9 p.m. for the regular stream and 10:45 for the member stream. Okay, I hope you can join me. I don't know what I'm going to do now. It's not looking too hot out the window there now. You can't really see, can you? No. Shame I can't pick the camera up and walk about with it. I could have gone out on the balcony, but 4:30. It's a bit early for dinner. I think I'll do a bit of editing. That'll take me up to dinner time. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Whatever you're doing on this Sunday, it's morning time in the UK, isn't it? So you've got the whole day ahead of you. Have a good one, and I'll catch you all next Sunday. Thanks a lot.